It is 9 p.m. on the dot on Monday, December 18th, 2017. You were listening to episode 50 of Oh No Anime Podcast. My name is Mark.
What a scrumptious number that was, Mark. I'm Patrick.
Yeah, we're here. We're here, and we did it. We got to 50. Here's to another 50, and then the world's probably going to end. Anyways... we are not going to be wanting for celebration on this episode because we have two special guests. They are the fine folks over at the Anime is Lit podcast, Danny and Kay. Hello. Thank you for coming.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to have you on the show. So, this is our 50th episode. It just kind of literally hit me as we started recording that we've done 50 of these.
That sounds kind of friggin' crazy.
Granted,
doesn't feel like that many.
50 is not that many, actually, in podcasting terms.
Feels like a lot.
I know of several podcasts that hit their 500th episode this year.
Maybe if we did it every other week like we had originally planned, it would have... But, you know...
Yeah.
Life comes at you fast, unlike our podcast episodes.
Life indeed does come at you fast, especially when you've built such a small media empire as the Ono Anime Media Empire.
I always feel like if we're releasing more often than Anime World Order, we're doing fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the metric
Bless
against
those guys
we.
at AWO, but man.
Yeah, there are many anime podcasts that have been around much longer that have probably are way more popular that have probably released about the same amount of episodes that we have. So, but it's good to be here. I can't believe that. Over 2 years ago, we started this thing now. That feels insane.
The first one was being recorded like at my desk as I was playing on the computer, and you can hear my obnoxious mouse clicks.
Yep, didn't edit out the mouse clicks.
We changed it.
That's all right, because...
games were eggs, E3 would be a nest.
Yeah, yes, that was great title. Started it with Obama's speech on manga and anime.
I remember that.
Yep, with Shinzo Abe face palming in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I miss that. Better times.
That was fantastic. Yeah. A brighter time for us all.
Trump ever says anime, I'm just going to jump off the nearest bridge.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. 4chan will have become real at that point.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
We'll all be flying under the flag of Kekistan. I will be jumping off the Skyway Bridge. Anyways, so what's up? How you guys doing?
Pretty good for a Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all you can hope for. I actually, a funny story about Monday is Monday, normally you go to work. I actually left the convention Monday because we got the hotel through Sunday. I was supposed to make it to work around 1, but thanks to the good folks at Greyhound, I walked into work at a solid 3:45 p.m.
Ooh.
People were not very happy with me. I apologize profusely. If it was Japan, it would have been a Dogeza moment. But instead, I was just like, I brought you guys some cookies. So they weren't too upset, thankfully. But
you got a solid hour, 15 in.
I just got back from a convention. It was pretty fun. It was a good time. It was Holiday Matsuri. Normally pretty good.
Yeah, normally pretty good.
So, okay. So the convention itself wasn't run very well, and there were a lot of problems with panels, namely us not getting one.
Yeah.
But
we applied for 5.
Yeah, to clarify, it's not just all about that. They literally did like first come, first serve after telling us, yeah, you'll be good. And it was just, it was downhill from there. Like on management, it was not good
guys,
at all.
It's okay because they approved like 10 My Hero Academia Q&A, character Q&A panels because...
Everybody's favorite panels.
Who doesn't love going to those, you know? Because, I mean, all these like cosplayers are such good improv comedians. It's really incredible. Anyways, besides the shade...
Yeah, no, I still had a good time at the convention. It's still a fantastic venue, and the people are ace as always. It was still a lot of fun.
Speaking of conventions, Kay, you went to a convention recently, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I went to PodCon. It was really a blast. It was really weird being at a small con where everyone could get into every panel who wanted to.
Yeah,
that's nice,
especially on the West Coast.
And no one passed out in line.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome.
There were a lot of passed out people at this con because somebody spiked the water at the rave.
Oh, boy.
I wish I was joking.
Heated developments at Holiday Matsuri.
Well, welcome to Florida Conventions, everybody.
So what podcast did you actually see? Did you go to many actual live recordings while you were there?
Yes, I was at the My Brother and Me live show.
Holy
I was
shit.
at Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh,
so
I was
jealous.
crying in like the first 10 minutes. And I was with I went with a friend who had listened to half of one episode on the drive up, and she was like, "Oh, what?" Like completely lost. I also went to the Dear John and Hank live show, which I had only listened to one episode of, and they gave me a name tag that said Ryan on it, and I didn't get the joke. And
I heard about this on Twitter.
Yes.
I read about this on Twitter.
yes,
I have absolutely no knowledge of that podcast, so
yeah, I don't either.
Did anybody ever explain it to you, or you're just still?
Nope. No, I
Hopefully
walked
somebody
into
somewhere out there.
I walked into the main event hall, and this very, very, very cheerful girl came up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Ryan. Are you Ryan?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." I was like, "Oh, okay," and then walked off.
this sounds
That
like,
sounds like a convention.
speaking of another podcast,
Yeah.
this sounds like some Heaven's Gate shit, man. Let
Oh.
me tell you. Heaven's Gate has come up a lot in my life, and also on the last episode of our podcast, I think I mentioned it, didn't I?
Yep.
Yes.
I did.
I'm glad
Yep.
they know because I sure did.
Yeah, because I was trying to really give people, I was trying to anchor 1997 anime, so I felt like a mass suicide would probably,
Okay, yeah, I do remember now.
yeah.
You definitely did mention it, because I'm not going to lie, I did pause your podcast and go find that one.
You should.
That's what we strive for.
That podcast is much better than our podcast, so that's the correct move to make. And then just never starting our podcast after.
I think I finished the episode.
So guys, we have a thing that we're going to do today. We're going to skip my Ono anime list
Thank
because
God. I mean, I'm sorry.
I've already told the both of you how much I want everybody to watch Fate Zero on Twitter, so we don't need to be talking about that. That's
Fair.
That's the 50th. That's number 50 on my anime list.
It's
Of
good.
anime.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Sorry about the first episode.
Yeah.
After that, it gets good. I promise.
Yeah. Sorry about an hour of
That's
Kotamine.
exactly what I like to hear when we start anime.
Yeah.
The worst part is it's an hour long and it's nothing but straight word vomit exposition.
Yeah. It's just Kotamine, or not Kotamine.
Is that
What's his name?
Kotamine.
Kotamine. Yeah. Just like walking in a circle.
It's literally him walking in a circle with a
Talking.
camera like spinning around him and like a bottle of wine talking for 10 minutes.
Yeah. But it also has the coolest summoning scenes in any
Does.
Fate
Shaman's
series.
at minute 55
Yeah,
of
yeah.
60.
Yeah, you have to wait 59 minutes to get to it.
It is good though, we promise.
Yes. So that's our there we go. We actually just did the segment
did.
right there. So check that one off the list. So yeah, for our 50th episode, we're glad you guys are here because we are going to do a segment that I'm sure we'll never do again called Anime Shark Tank. This is a incredibly ill-informed idea that I think we all
I
kind
don't
of.
think any of us have ever watched Shark Tank.
I have not. You guys watched some of it last night, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We watched part of one episode, and there was a lot more actual business talk than I expected, and we got bored and stopped.
Yeah,
Yep.
see, I don't want any of that. I don't care about Mark Cuban and his thoughts on investment. I want to see wacky products, and today we're going to see wacky, but not really, anime. So yeah, we're
couple wacky ones in
gonna
there.
kind of just treat this as like kind of a round table. We've each picked anime. Either we're gonna like tag team them or whatever, or be like try to sell them individually. We've each picked anime that either most of the other people in this group have not seen, or basically need to have recommended to them. Patrick, you've seen every anime ever made, so
You're not
Yeah.
wrong. At least parts
In our
of
case,
it.
we're just tag teaming you, Mark.
it's well,
Actually, I haven't. Oh, I was about to give a spoiler for one of those, but there's one on your list that I haven't seen.
there's
So.
Just
oh
one.
sweet, all right, well there's that.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I already told Patrick not to talk about Basquash, which I know neither one of you guys have seen
top
today.
on my list. My favorite basketball match.
Don't let I was going to say, don't let the premise basketball mecha anime fool you.
The worst
It's
part is I've
very
seen it
bad.
twice.
Listen to what?
Fool us into believing
it's
that
good.
it could be anything but bad, which apparently it is. I have not even gotten past the first
Listen,
episode.
it has idols in it, and I still think it's bad. That's
Yeah.
got to mean something.
Oh shit.
It's damning. I feel we would be remiss as hosts if we did not let you guys go first. So,
Pick one. Let us have it.
what do you have to serve up to us?
Should we start with a good one?
They're all good.
That implies there's a bad one.
There's not a single
right,
bad
there's
show
not.
on there.
Listen, they're all bad. They're all anime,
all
which
anime.
means they're all
Not
bad.
true.
All right.
Do you want to start with Suhaya? Sure. Patrick, feel free to jump in on this one if you want.
Yeah, Chihaya Furu for
But
sure.
we wanted to pitch to you, Mark, Chihaya Furu.
Just imagine me sitting.
Damn good anime.
Just imagine me going, Nani wasn't he?
Imagine me sitting Gendo Ikari like in my bright red chair,
Yeah.
ready to listen.
He's doing
Let's see. When did Chihaya come out? It's based on a super long running manga, which I'm pretty sure is still going.
it. It is.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
still
it is.
running.
Yeah. The first season came out in 2011. And it's a Madhouse one.
Ooh, okay. I'm interested.
Yeah, so it's like a shoujo sports anime, but for Karuta.
Right.
Do you know
I've
what
heard
Karuta
of.
is?
Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
Karuta is because we
But,
once
like-
played Karuta.
Yes, I
Yes.
have a Karuta set.
What?
But like the best of sports and the best of shoujo combined.
Patrick,
very good way
real
to
quick
put it.
aside, what branding is that Karuta set that you have?
Listen, just because my Karuta set happens to be a pre-par Karuta set
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean anything. It's a real
I would
thing,
expect
all
nothing
right?
less.
It
I
has,
saw that.
like-
I have never clicked buy quicker.
It has like pre-par themed chants that you
Yeah,
did
so
beforehand.
instead of the because okay, real quick for listeners who don't know, Karuta is it's a matching card game based on the Hyakunin Ishu, which is a very famous collection of Japanese poems. There's 100 of them, and somebody reads out the first half of a poem, and you need to slap the card that matches the second half quicker, and the one that clears their board first wins. So instead of the actual like beautiful poems, it's dumb like pre-para quotes.
Anyways,
So exactly the same game is what I'm trying to say.
all right.
So, sorry.
I just
Go
wanted
ahead,
to get
Chihaya
that
Furu.
out into the world
Probably
so people
the most
would
anime
know.
thing I've ever.
It's really good.
Yep, it's right up our alley.
So what makes Chihaya Furu good
Yes.
aside from
Every-
everything?
Gosh.
Stellar voice acting.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite acting.
I think
It's so good.
for me, a lot of it, and I know this because I listened to the soundtrack on its own still, like the way that the soundtrack ties into the climaxes of pretty much every match they do is better than most sports anime. And most sports anime do that pretty dang well.
You know what's crazy, y'all? I did not know Chihaya Furu was a sports anime.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Like,
I
it's
thought it
not-
was.
It's not a standard sport, but Karuta itself is very like I mean I say card matching game and you're just like, well, that's kind of weird. It's a very very competitive, and they actually air like the master level matches on TV and stuff, and
Yeah,
it takes
you
a
can look it
lot.
up on YouTube. It's really intense.
yeah,
Huh.
I have found myself accidentally watching Meijin Karuta matches more than once.
Same.
It's really good. For
Yeah,
me,
as far as it being like a sports anime, it's more structured like one because there are lots of tournaments and there's arcs and the feel is the same even though they're not running around a court.
Yeah, and the main character Ganba's really hard.
Yeah.
she
Huh.
does Gumbo super hard.
That's crazy. I had no idea that it was so similar to an actual sports anime.
Another big deal for me in it is the strength of the characters. Ayase Chihaya is one of my favorite female characters, one of my favorite female characters ever, and for a lot of reasons. Mostly is she's got this goal and she just chases it strong. But you have all these other characters whose goals and determination are for completely other reasons. Like you have the kid who all he knows how to do is to study, and Chihaya literally like drags him away from that. It's just like, you memorize things good, do this, and he finds his own reason to do it. You have the dude that's there literally only because he wants to be with Chihaya, which is handled actually really well. And there's they have the whole club. They have the rest of the members too.
My question is, now that I know it's a sports anime, I need to dig deeper.
Yes.
Character wise, so Karuta is an individual sport, correct? Or is it a team
No.
sport? Okay.
Well, both.
Both. So at the highest level, it's generally an individual sport. Excuse me, but the way they do team matches is actually very similar to kendo, and I say that like everybody here knows how kendo is done. But you line up head to head, and it's like there's 5 people per team, and you're playing individually against the other person. So in Karuta, you play against somebody else, and I said earlier you like slap away the cards to clear your side. Well, the ones that are on your side are obviously easier for you to reach, and the other half are on the other person's side. But what happens is if you manage to slap one away from their side, you send one card over. So you're still net negative, plus now you've messed up where their cards are because you memorize it ahead of time.
okay.
So what it is you like part of the mind game of Karuta is who's going to line up against who on the other team, and that's how you make it a team match.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a good show, and it is. I believe it is still on Crunchyroll. I don't think it's been taken down yet.
Huh.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly,
They just released a nice new Blu-ray set for both seasons also.
I did see that, and I almost
did
bought
hear
it. It
about
was
that.
like $60 on Right Stuff a week ago, and I almost did
Yeah,
it. I should have.
yeah.
I'm regretting it hard.
How many
I
episodes?
got part of it as a wedding gift for a friend.
Oh,
Nice.
What a good friend.
Yeah, how many
think-
episodes?
I want to say
I think it's on High Dive also.
episodes. Is it on High Dive?
I'm pretty sure the dub is on High Dive too.
Oh, I've never listened to. How do
That's
they handle
interesting.
the poems and the dub? Do they still read them
I
in
have
Japanese?
not watched the dub, I have to confess. I love the Seiyu cast way too much.
Yeah, no, it's super strong. I wonder how they do that. That's interesting.
That-
Yeah.
I
I want
would
to say it's like
almost
50 episodes.
I would assume
It is, yes.
that Sentai dubbed it because
That would make
That
sense.
would make sense that the dub is on
Yeah.
High Dive.
I'm curious about that.
Also, Sentai has this weird habit of dubbing shows like that don't seem like they can be dubbed. Like they dubbed Gatchaman Crowds,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
how would you even
But
do that?
this one, the Japanese language is so intrinsically tied to it because you have, and I'm getting way into cards now, you have different syllable cards. You have a one-syllable card where you hear the first syllable and you know this is the match. You have a two-syllable where you hear the first two and you know it's this card, etc., etc. How do you explain that concept and then display it in the show in English? I'm kind of hoping they just kept the poems in Japanese.
Probably.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
I would
imagine
say
any
they
other
did.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, my original question after asking about it being a team sport or an individual sport. So how, like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. Like, in terms of how the characters are presented, are the characters more like your traditional sports anime tropes, or are
No, absolutely
they
not.
No.
They're regular people. None of them have like
Yeah.
crazy superpowers either. Some of them are better than others at certain aspects of it. Like maybe one is better at memorizing, maybe one's better at hearing the beginning of a syllable and almost superhumanly being able to figure out what it is. But nobody has crazy named moves or anything.
No, yeah.
I mean,
I would say the
wouldn't
characters are
expect
the strongest part of the show for me.
Absolutely,
definitely.
I would agree. I mean that's
I
where
think-
the shoujo writing comes in.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I love it is because sometimes I get kind of impatient with shoujo and I get a little bit tired of like the worn out tropes and stuff, but this one spends so much more time on character and like motivation, and there's so much going on with the Karuta that they don't need to focus on a bunch of like really monotonous interpersonal stuff. But
at the same
I don't know.
time, when
The
they
interpersonal
do,
stuff is
like, yeah, the interpersonal stuff is really good. Like the main love triangle in the show is really compelling.
it's so good. Yeah. It's like there's a little element of like there are elements of romance written into the story, but they are not the focus, and they're handled really complexly and like age appropriately and in a compelling way that isn't like
It's
just
really good.
super tropey and shoujo. It's
Uh-huh.
really, really good.
One thing I want to say before we move on to it, because we've already spent quite a few minutes on Chihaya there was actually a live action series that came out in
Yes,
movie
yes.
series, 3 movies. I was about to say it's actually really good, and I can already tell you guys kind of agree.
That's cool.
Yes,
It
and
was-
Perfume
it
does
was
the
fantastic.
theme song.
Perfume did the image song in the opening.
Right. I remember
Yeah.
hearing
Really
about
good.
that.
I
Really
remember
live
I remember seeing it because I saw the trailer, and normally I'm not about these adaptations, and like my heart stopped beating for a second when I saw how beautiful Chihaya's character was, or the actress, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'm going to watch this now. And I did.
They
and
cast
was
actual
really
kids for it
good.
too.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Huh.
I don't think
Well,
I've seen the third one yet. I need to. That's
you
when
mentioned the
Shinobu shows up.
music, and I looked up the soundtrack, and
I have no idea who did it. I
it's
listened to it
Kosuke
regularly.
Yamashita. I can't say that I'm familiar with any of his other work, but he did the soundtrack for Nurse Witch Komugi R, if you liked that weird reboot. Also Glass Fleet, everybody's favorite awful BL thing from like 2006.
Well, he did Getsume Heiki Mina. That's a real thing that was good.
Listen, Patrick, but we haven't even gotten to the fact
I
that he
know,
did
I know.
Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, the movie, the flying ghost ship. So, I
Also,
mean,
Starship Troopers.
yeah, also Maho Sentai Magi Ranger. Holy shit, that's a great name. I want to watch Maho Sentai Magi Ranger. How does it every time we do
Magical
one of these
Warrior.
fucking podcasts now we end up talking about how much I want to watch Sentai?
And yet you haven't. What's stopping you?
Because I would
You're
just
just
watch the
afraid.
I watched the
Cube.
the henshin basically, and then that's it. That's all I
enough.
need
You
to
got
see.
your fill.
I got my Cube Kuma. All right, Patrick, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll
I'll be pretty quick with this one.
Let me do Yamato real quick. So Space Battleship Yamato, for those of you who don't know, is written
real quick. You sure?
I can make it quick. I'm normally quick. So Space Battleship Yamato is written by Leiji Matsumoto, who has done a lot of really, really good things. He's a huge name. Even if you guys don't know who he is, I'm talking to the audience more than anybody. If you saw one of his designs, you'd be like, oh, I've seen this before. And Space Battleship
He did
Yamato,
the Daft Punk Interstellar 555 music
exactly.
videos that they played on Toonami. Everybody's seen those.
Yeah. But so Space Battleship Yamato especially was one of the first anime that came out that was marketed for adults in Japan. And it was a huge cultural shift to saying, hey, these aren't just for kids. We can do like long, compelling stories. And with that, there is actually the remake being slowly released on Crunchyroll right now called Space Battleship Yamato 2199. I want to talk more about the show, but just basically the plot is Earth has been under attack by aliens for a while, and another alien race just says, hey, here's this crazy piece of technology you can use to like warp over to us, and we'll help you fight back the aliens. And humanity, being humanity, says, you know what, let's make this a weapon instead. And the original race that
Classic.
they didn't like that happened.
Classic us.
Classic humans. They didn't like that happened very much at all. And you get into some like crazy like real politics stuff, and it is a definition of a space opera in the purest sense. It is really good, and you don't have to watch the original. It plods just like you would expect an anime from the 70s too. But the remake that's out is really good, super faithful, and yet isn't afraid to change things where they should be changed.
So 2199 is the remake?
Yes, it's a remake of the original. You can hop in and just go at it, and I suggest you do that.
Is that the one that did Crunchy just get it, or was that?
Yes, Crunchyroll just got it. It actually it was in license hell for a bit because Space Battleship Yamato came out in the States as Star Blazers. If you guys have ever heard of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But so they actually started to release it on Blu-ray as Star Blazers, and I own all the ones that came out, and they were just awful masters. They were like no good bonus content. They didn't market them at all, and they stopped like halfway through. And I guess Crunchyroll was finally able to rescue that license.
Wow.
Good on Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
they did it.
So I was really sad that there was no legal way.
How
to
long
watch
is
them.
it? How many are we in for?
I want to say it was 20 something, but there's also movies and stuff, and not all of them are out on Crunchyroll yet.
I'm going to look it up right now.
They don't have all the episodes up yet.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it's not too long.
We'll get to
There's
that
a
one once
lot.
we finish our current space opera.
All of my like series length restrictions have gone out the window thanks to
Legend Galactic Heroes will do that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm also going to use this moment to say, repeat my my opinion from last episode that everybody should buy the Blu-ray and watch Captain Harlock, Arcadia of My Youth. Yeah.
That's also Leiji Matsumoto.
Also Leiji Matsumoto, also a classic anime property that is even less popular over here than Star Blazers or Space Battleship Yamato, but is maybe one of the best sci-fi movies I've ever seen. And I'm not overstating that.
That's another thing. Space Battleship Yamato has amazing, like almost like Foundation Isaac Asimov like short stories in there about AIs and stuff like that you can show people as like a single episode to try to sell them on the show as a whole, and they are really good. I'm getting goosebumps remembering one that's like I think it's like episode 9 about the ship AI like meets an alien AI that's trapped in the ship, and they become friends as he teaches him Japanese or English, and then more things happen. I don't want to spoil it, but as like a one-off, absolutely amazing.
That sounds way our speed.
Oh yeah.
It is 26 episodes.
26. There you go.
Okay, awesome.
The movies are also out in English, available on Blu-ray.
It is eminently watchable, and I will be. Yeah, that's on my list before next year because obviously the sequel.
Yeah.
Sequel is coming. Everybody should watch it sooner rather than later because that's going to be me with a lot of series because there's a lot of fucking sequels.
We
next
got some
year.
crazy ass sequels coming in 2018.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. I guess I will really quickly give you guys my first individual one, and that is New Dominion Tank Police. I've talked this up a little bit, basically by saying that it is like kind of just another Pat Labor in a lot of ways.
You're not wrong.
It really is. So it's New Dominion Tank Police is a 6-episode OVA. It was animated by JC Staff, and keep in mind this is the JC Staff of the early 90s, so Utena JC Staff.
JC Staff has changed.
So it is about it is in a dystopian far future, and I know, try to suspend your disbelief for a Shirow Masamune story set in a dystopian near future. It is set in a dystopian near future where in kind of like a very tumultuous, kind of like half cyber, like very Akira-esque kind of city. And it is about a elite police force that is called the Tank Police, and they like drive these very advanced tanks. But specifically, it's about these two characters, Al and Leona, who are the two-man crew of their mini tank called Bonaparte, and you are starting to see the similarities to Patlabor, I'm sure already.
Yeah,
I just forgot the name.
But yeah, they drive around in this little mini tank, and they beat up and or kill the shit out of bad guys. It is a really cool little series that I think gets play over here, more play than it probably deserves. But it's really fun. If like I said before, if you like Patlabor, it's definitely something that you're gonna want to check out, because it is kind of like a weird alternate. Like it's like if in an alternate dimension Shirow Masamune was the one behind Patlabor instead of Headgear, because it is very similar, like down to like there is a short-haired redhead / brunette girl who, with a like guy that she has a tumultuous and or slightly romantic relationship with, pilots a machine that she gave an affectionate name to fight bad guys in a dystopian near future. Like it is so like really hilariously similar to Patlabor in so many ways. But the cool thing is that it's the first Shirow Masamune anime. So this is before Ghost in the Shell, before the weird like Appleseed CGI films, and it has a lot of references to Shirow Masamune's works, because this was a manga that he was writing basically before Appleseed, before Ghost in the Shell. Like he really was kind of like working out his general like cyberpunk ethos and worldview. So it's got appearances from like machines that actually also appear in Ghost in the Shell later on. It's got all the cool Ghost in the Shell shit that you want. It's got cyborgs. It's got this is really funny. It has got twin Catgirl cyborg criminals that fly a biplane.
Yeah.
Oh god!
Yeah.
I just had a flashback to that.
Yeah.
I remember now.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I like those two.
Yeah, and it's got spider tanks. It's got cool cyberpunk shit. It's got cool, like, for all you like Anno-esque mechanical nerds out there, it's got plenty of cool mecha designs and tank designs and vehicle designs. And it is very much a product of the early 90s. So, and it is available on DVD for like $6 on Amazon from Made in Japan, and I own it, and it is a very worthy purchase because it's very fun.
$6.
Also, the opening is amazing. The opening is just this shitty, like barely sung heavy metal, like sort of power ballad, early 90s style.
It's amazing.
It's great.
What year was it? That was like mid 80s, though, wasn't
this
it?
This is a 1993.
Oh, why did I think it was
93
80s?
through 94. This is actually this Dominion is a really weird thing, because it was a pretty short manga, and it was released in a really weird way. So there's actually more than one Dominion anime, but this is really the only one that anyone ever talks about.
The only one I know of.
Yeah. This is actually a New Dominion Tank Police. There's a reason it's called New Dominion Tank Police, is because the actual name of the manga is Dominion, or Dominion Tank Police. And this is actually a sequel to the original manga that also kind of doesn't ever pay reference to the original manga. So don't ever mind about that, because like they never once say like they never reference like previous events, but just knowing that
it's
is
probably
probably
like
good.
Nier Automata, where Yoko Taro said, actually, it's probably better if you don't play the first Nier. Yeah.
I'm sure
You'll confuse yourself.
I'm sure Masamune at this point would stick his head up from the mountain of porn that he's drawing and tell
shiny porn.
tell you not to read the original Dominion. Probably because there weren't enough like 9 foot tall Slender Man-esque oiled up women in it.
Never enough.
Oh, Masamune.
Anyway, y'all's turn, I think.
Yeah. I think you better take this away from me.
All right, Kay, what's yours?
Oh, mine. We're going to take a break now from space and robots and tanks
Good plan.
and
Damn.
everything else and just go straight to fish.
I was actually going to suggest
I'm going to
y'all
sell
do this
you
one
on
next.
Suritama.
Okay.
So I was going to suggest y'all do Suritama next because I love it.
Yes.
This name is not
Suritama
summoning.
is maybe the best anime.
It's not summoning anything for me right now, so I'm going in blind. So lay it on me.
So, I guess we'll go plot first. Socially anxious boy meets an alien.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. That's the show.
That's it. That's the whole show.
That's the whole thing.
Okay.
Directed
And so
by-
much more.
Yes. Directed by Kenji Nakamura, who also did, notably, Gatchaman Crowd and Mononoke.
Yeah,
Okay.
he did some more stuff than that, but his like visual preferences really come through in Suritama.
Yeah. And like the style fits the story really, really well.
Like
This show.
the thing that
I just showed Mark. a
Gatchaman
picture and
Crowds
he's
tried to do
"Oh,
with,
this
like-
show." Sorry, go on
with
about
like
Gatchaman.
backgrounds being like textured and colored, and that kind of bleeds into Mononoke too. I feel like Suritama is like the best version of that. Textured paper cutout backgrounds, but like really, really stylized and pretty, and everything is so bright and like really flashy, but pretty also.
I would agree with that. It was definitely the culmination of what they've worked on with that style. And every single time I see a screenshot or some of the animation from it, which was superb, by the way, it's all over Sakagaboro. Like, I'm just
it is
reminded of how beautifully well done it was for a TV show too. It was over the top.
Yeah.
Is this a?
Yeah. And honestly, it is.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna add, this is I'm assuming this is of the like BL sort of genre, kind of.
The fandom would lead you to believe
The
that,
fandom
but
would
it
lead you to
isn't.
believe that, but not like,
Almost not at all.
no,
One of those. Okay.
please.
It is if you want it to be.
I see.
I wouldn't.
I didn't read
personally.
it that
Yeah,
way at
no,
all,
I wouldn't either. Honestly,
I wouldn't, and I usually do.
So sometimes I feel like that really takes away from the show, and Suritama is one of those.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't care. Like most
So-
sports anime, Haikyuu, yeah, sure, go for it. But Suritama,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
this
It's not meant to be that.
no, it's not meant to be that. And like the main like theme of Suritama is like the power of friendship,
But like genuine friendship.
genuine friendship.
I personally think it's the best depiction of social anxiety I've seen
Yes.
in anime. Anything. It's really accurate, but like so good.
And like done like metaphorically, like visual metaphors
Yeah.
for social anxiety that come across like perfect.
I think the only other anime that's handled that like anywhere near as well, and it was more about depression, was Welcome to the NHK. But I would definitely agree with it being like strong visually metaphor for social anxiety.
Well, I was gonna say, it's gonna take a lot for me to beat the portrayals of anxiety and depression in March Comes in Like a Lion. So
They're handled very differently between the two
Oh,
shows.
yeah.
That's like
It
the
is-
darkness version of
Yeah.
it.
It's a different style.
It's like the complete opposite tone. It's
Okay.
it's like the character has social anxiety, but the atmosphere of the show is so like sweet and cute and calming and just like
Bubbly.
happy and positive.
Very bubbly.
that's good. Yeah, it's a different take then.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
That's a strong show. That's one that, like, as much as I loved it, for some reason I don't think about it a lot. But as soon as I do, I'm just like, oh yeah, that show was really freaking
Yeah.
good. It's an
yeah.
outlier
And as soon as
like
I like have an opportunity to sit someone down and watch it, I make them watch it all.
that. It's a super easy thing to marathon too. You just sit down. Oh shit, I've watched all of it.
What year is this?
Yeah.
This was recent. 13 maybe 14.
This was 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Longer
Just
ago
before
than-
Crowds.
Yeah.
Same studio as Crowds, I'm assuming. Maybe.
I don't remember.
Oh.
Was Crowds
This is
Madhouse?
A1.
This is A1.
Really?
Oh,
That's
okay.
right. Yeah, it was
So-
A1. This was... I think this might have been like the first time outside of Sword Art Online where I went, okay, A1 is a thing.
Yeah.
I should pay attention here.
That's a funny thing to think about now.
Yeah, right? Now this is a thing that owns everything.
Yeah. And it owns us on the reg.
Please, A1.
Yeah.
I don't know how to sell the show other than that. It always brightens my mood no matter.
Street Tama
Yeah,
is one of
it's
those...
Incredibly heartwarming.
Yeah, it's really hard to talk about. It's so visual. Like,
Yeah.
being able to pull up a video and be like,
Yeah.
look at what they're doing.
I like, if I'm 100% honest, there aren't very many things in anime that will sell me on a show more than like pure friendship between two boys. So like,
It's there.
that
There's
warms.
four,
Oh,
Yeah,
actually.
There's 4.
there's 4. Well, they're
except one of them is what, 26?
Oh, yes.
and owns a
That's
deck.
Boy, it hurt.
One of them walks into the classroom as the first day on as a transfer student and says, "Hello, I'm 25. Let's be friends."
well, they're all boys in my eyes. I don't know.
Sure.
They're all my boys.
I actually thought of another one that wasn't on the list that I want to do real quick since we don't seem to be too sports heavy. I'm actually going to throw one out. I'm not even sure if I've ever talked to you about Cross Game.
Yeah, you have.
I have? Okay.
Yeah.
So Cross Game is a baseball show, which honestly, I'm normally not big on baseball anime at all. You know, there's good ones out there like Major, Okiku Furikabute, and all that. But Cross Game came out of nowhere for me. I saw the first episode and immediately said, wow, this is something special. And I did some research and found out that it's this mangaka called their name is Adachi Mitsuru, and he has this history of doing incredibly long running and incredibly touching manga series. Cross Game is all of that. It's about a boy who, I'm trying to figure out how much I want to spoil because a huge thing happens in the first episode that sets up the tone for the next 40 something. And it is an interesting look at childhood and how much somebody can develop around and against their peers during their middle school years and growing up. The sports almost take a back seat because the main character is he wants to be a pitcher and pitch in Koshien like every sports anime ever, and he tries really hard for it. But he has a motivation that's very, very, very unique for his age. It's one of those things where you have to say watch the first episode because you can't talk too much about the show without spoiling a major thing. But Cross Game and all of Adachi Mitsuru's work, really, because I went back and watched and read all of his other stuff after. That's how much the show affected me. Is
Dang.
worth a look. So look up that first episode, and if you aren't hooked in those first 20 minutes, I'll be very surprised.
There we go.
So that was Cross Game.
I sure wish I had room in my life for another sports anime, but
Yeah. All right.
I have so much on my list.
I still need to go
watch.
back and catch up on Yoopeta because I forgot the fourth season was coming
God.
up.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I never finished the third
There's so
season.
much now.
There's so much now.
Yeah.
What's the point with no third years?
What's the point with no Maki and
Third
Toto?
Yeah,
That's fair. I think the last episode I watched was when why can't I think of his name? I keep on doing this. The creepy dude.
Mito Tsuji,
Mito Tsuchi
Yes.
literally broke out of
Lizard
his
boy?
cocoon.
Lizard Boy.
the Lizard King.
What?
What?
I say literally broke out of his cocoon. All right. So it was one of
Yeah.
those crazy visual metaphors, but
No, that's
No, I
yeah.
believe you.
he
No,
broke
that's-
out of his cocoon.
That is probably his
I believe you.
his ultimate moment in the manga, and I have it forever immortalized in my Yoopeta art book of him literally like coming out of his own skin with a bleached mohawk.
Yep.
It's
His final form.
yeah,
I saw that.
It's amazing.
and it wasn't like I sat it down and I said I was done. I think I just couldn't handle anymore at that time.
No.
And I haven't gone back yet. I'll get there. It's going to happen.
yeah,
What a show.
yeah. I'm just waiting for the spin-off about Arakita
spin-off.
and what's his name, the old the guy you cosplayed. What's his name?
Fucking Kinjo.
Yeah, Kinjo. I'm ready for the Kinjo and Arakita on their
Yo,
college cycling team
I would
spin-off.
be so about that.
That is so much more interesting to me than anything else in that whole show right now. Give me that.
Kinjo's my fucking boy.
That is probably number 2 on my list of like sports anime OVAs that we need spun off behind the girls volleyball team in Haikyuu.
Yes.
Like I want a
Yeah.
1,000
Oh my gosh.
episode anime. I want them to abandon regular Haikyuu and just follow the girls
Yeah.
from now on.
Well, here's hoping that the girls ice hockey team does well in the
Jesus,
Olympics again for
don't
Japan, and we get an
even-
anime there.
Don't even give me ideas about a Japanese
ooh.
girls ice hockey anime. I
Ooh.
would fucking melt into the ground.
Jeez.
I want it so
Okay.
bad. Anyway, somebody else
Jesus.
should go.
Yeah.
You're up, Mark.
All right. Well, the time has come for us to talk about Die Buster.
Oh.
So
I really expected something else.
Yeah.
no, we got to talk about Die Buster because
All right.
it's a big elephant in the room between all of us because. So you guys have seen Gunbuster, yes?
Boy, have
Of
we.
course.
Yes. So you have experienced Hideaki Anno's finest. Truly. You have seen all that man has to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Die Buster is a really fucking weird, awesome, crazy thing that probably should have never happened, but I'm really glad it did. It came out in 2004. It was directed by Kazuya Tsurumaki, who was the director of Fooly Cooly and also directed a heck of a lot of the original Evangelion and the rebuilds of Evangelion and a whole bunch of other stuff. He, at this point, was literally like hot off of doing Fooly Cooly. So a lot of the series, animation style wise, directorial wise, is very similar to Fooly Cooly, which means that it is very different from Gunbuster. Pretty much, you would not. Here's the thing. So you basically, until probably episode 4
4 or
could
5, yeah.
not know that it was actually a sequel to Gunbuster. But I will say that this entire series is worth watching simply for the last probably 3 minutes. It will
Oh no! I'm
end
starting
you.
to cry. I'm sorry to cry already.
It will end you. It
It's
will
the single
drive
best
your ass
ending I've
into the
ever seen.
fucking ground harder than any other Gynax thing. It is the most pure, the most wonderful, just life-ending fucking ending. It
I'm
is
like blinking tears away.
when I
remembering.
first watched it, I was watching like fan subs from like 2009, and they, you know how they separate out sections, like label
yeah.
the sections.
Yeah.
At the end of episode 6, I moused over the section that was the ending, and in all caps it just said "God tier Gynax ending."
I know exactly which subs you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's something special.
that's
man.
all I will say about the ending. But yeah, it is a really
It's fun before that too.
Yeah,
though.
it's an incredible series. It is very it contains a subset of things that when combined, I did not know would give me such a powerful emotional reaction. The main character is one of the main characters, but really the main character that you're first introduced to is Nono. She's like a very sort of peppy.
She's a classic Genki girl.
Yeah, she's a classic Genki girl.
She gumbas super hard.
Yes, she does Gamba very hard. So hard that she splits a planet in half
I'm
eventually.
stealing that from you guys, by the way.
Yeah.
She gumbas super hard. That's
That can be
mine
the
now.
tagline for this
Thank
episode.
you.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm going to name this episode. Gamba super hard. So yeah, she is a very cute, very Genki, pink-haired girl who basically leaves home to become a space pilot. Because she idolizes Nonoriri, which is like this weird deformation over. Well, I won't spoil it, but it's basically what's her name from the first series.
It sucks because her voice actress has the same
She
name and I know
basically
it.
basically she idolizes the two girls from the original
Noriko.
Gunbuster. Yeah, they
There
have
you go, Noriko.
Same.
yeah. So
Same, right?
yeah, she idolizes them and wants to become space pilots. So she leaves home. And there's this really, really wonderful scene at the very beginning where she's like riding on a train and she rides overnight, and then she wakes up and she's in the city and there's like rockets taking off and this wonderful like the main theme is playing and she's just like very happy to be there. And then she realizes that it's actually super fucking hard to become a space pilot, but
Yeah.
she does anyway because she meets, and my favorite, I'm going to see
Still
how they
know
wrote
to
this.
say her name.
Lalk. They wrote it on here as Lalk Melk Mark. Her name is super weird, but basically it is it's it's the exact same character design as the girl who is the assistant to the guy with the eyebrows in Fully Cooley.
Yep,
It's the
that's
exact same character design. They straight up just recycled her character design, but she is voiced by Maya Sakamoto, who is just this is one of her ultimate roles. It is so wonderful. And she is the pilot of a robot whose name I cannot possibly say.
D-Snoof?
D-Snoof, yeah.
It's literally it's a number in French.
all the
D-Snoof.
all the Buster
19.
machines are named like they're French.
Yeah, because if you guys remember in the first one, they name all the crazy Buster machines as it goes.
Yeah.
Now they do it in French.
But yeah, if you thought the crazy like sci-fi bullshit was off the rails in the original Gunbuster, you are not ready for what Diebuster has to offer. It is the most crazy, over the top Gynax super robo Gynax space stuff, but not in the same way to
it's not like Gurren Lagann.
No, it's not like Gurren Lagann. It's not really a Super Robo show. Really, it takes elements of Super Robo and combines them more with like traditional like Leiji Matsumoto sci-fi. Like obviously the original Gunbuster had a lot of stuff with like time dilation and warp speed and all these different things that were very interestingly handled. And while that stuff plays into the story a lot less in Diebuster, I think in terms of creating like emotional impact, it's kind of replaced by like kind of waves of revelation and like seeing characters and locales change and become very different from how you were first introduced to them, and kind of realizing their true potential. And I think that's really cool. The other thing is it's one of the most perfect anime sequels for me, where it feels like it only references the exact amount of stuff that it needs to from the original series, like to give you a sense of reverence for it and a sense of history. Like I genuinely don't think I would think so highly of Gunbuster if I hadn't then watched Diebuster almost immediately
helps
afterwards.
a lot.
Yeah, it
Not
gives
that
you
Gunbuster can't stand alone, but Diebuster gives you a whole new vantage point.
Yeah, like it gives you such a sense of importance to the events of Gunbuster and such a sense of like perspective, but it like just it drips them very well over the 6 episodes.
I'm pretty sure I'm about to watch it as soon as we're done recording again. 6 episodes.
The biggest travesty on earth is that neither of those things have been released in their original form on Blu-ray here.
Yeah,
they're both.
How
they
the
get those
heck
shitty-
do you watch it?
They get the shitty movie cut. You watch it.
We don't need to talk about that. You know where to get it.
You know.
All right.
Just don't go on Kiss Anime, please. But yeah, the other great thing about Diebuster is that basically anybody who's ever worked for Gynax worked on this movie.
Yeah.
Just to read down
episode director.
Yeah, episode directors, we have Atsushi Nishigori, Katsuichi Nakayama, Kazuya Tsurumaki, Masahiko Otsuka, and Tadashi Hiramatsu, all big Gynax names. Also storyboards by Hideaki Anno, Kazuya Tsurumaki, Kunihiko Ikuhara, Masayuki, Shinji Higuchi, Sushio, and Tadashi Hiramatsu. Yeah,
no idea Ikuhara was here.
this show is a veritable who's who of both like seiyuu in like in much earlier periods than you're used to hearing them, like not
Miyuki's
necessarily
there.
like Miyuki Sawashiro voices Taiko Science. She voices Taiko Science. I forgot that her name is Taiko
Young
Science.
Freud.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh god,
Now,
Freud. I forgot
The names in this show are fucking incredible, like Nicola Vacheron and Casio Takashiro and Roy
These people are
Anion.
mechs.
These are
These are people. These are people.
Serpentine Twin and Pakika.
I'm changing my name.
I'm trying to pronounce this. Pakika Pesca Pelsicium.
Nope, I'm changing it to that.
Or
Instead.
are you sure you don't want to change it to Nyan Nok Cham? Or Citron Ramon?
Or shop owner.
Or
I'm going to change my name.
Okay.
Citron Ramon is pretty fucking good.
That's really good. That's my next D&D character.
Anyway, the last the last thing I want to say about the series, other than the fact that the mecha were all designed by Shigeto Koyama, who is doing the designs on
Nishigori's doing Darling in the Franxx too.
Yeah. Nishigori is the director of
directing
Darling
it,
in the Franxx, and Shigeto Koyama, who designed all of the Buster machines in this series, is the mecha designer for Darling in the Franxx,
God
which is
bless
why
his
all the
designs.
mecha in Darling in the Franxx look like Buster
They look
machines.
like Buster machines, yeah.
Other than that, I will say that this Die Buster has probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. It is
Get that
very
groove and magic
so.
going.
It was done by Kohei Tanaka, who is not only a huge name and has been around since like probably the 70s. He did the original Gunbuster soundtrack, so you'll hear a lot of.
You get to hear the Buster March.
Yeah, you get to hear the Buster March. You get to hear Noriko's theme. There's a lot of really recognizable themes that are really expertly like woven into the Die Buster soundtrack. But overall, it's very traditional, very orchestral, and very fucking wonderful. And it will guaranteed first episode make you cry. Not even a question.
Yeah.
Making me want to cry just thinking about it, and I'm definitely going to go watch it as soon as we're done with this.
Dang,
It's
that's
so
all
good.
sold.
It's 6 episodes.
one.
Like, there's no reason not to do
you
it.
can do it in a night. It's really
Yeah, a couple hours.
One of my new favorite phrases this year is six episode OVA series. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it's
alright.
good.
wonderful.
There's so many good
You
ones.
guys got a lot of them in front of you too.
Does that say Akira Memi on second KA?
No, it says Akira Memiya, Hideaki Anno, Hiroyuki Maishi.
Yeah, they're
Like,
all on second KA.
All these
yeah.
very famous animators doing fucking second key animation on this 2004
Anyway,
series.
sorry, I saw that out of the corner of my eye.
Really funny. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so watch. I mean, this is just a message to everybody who might be listening to this right now. Fucking watch Gunbuster if you haven't done that, but also watch Die Buster if you haven't.
So don't watch the shitty cut up movie version if you watch Gunbuster.
Yeah.
That's how you don't like Gunbuster.
You can't get the good version legally in the States unless you import it and also can speak Japanese. So you can't get the good version in the US legally. So, sorry. I don't want to advocate for piracy, but
Yeah,
y'all
I
gotta,
just remembered that's why we never bought a Gunbuster.
y'all
Yeah.
gonna see this shit.
I have the movie. It's not great. I had to buy it because I want to support Gunbuster, but I don't
Yeah,
watch it
right.
when I want to watch it.
Yeah, there's your strategy. Buy both of the movies and then don't watch
use them.
That,
Hey, friend them.
You tried. You
There
tried.
you go. Anyways, guys, I believe it is your turn.
How are we going to top that? What should we sell next?
How are you going to aim for the top?
My God.
are we both selling Natsume and Steins Gate?
Sure.
Okay. What do you want to start with?
Let's do Natsume.
All right. I don't think.
Oh man.
I mean,
Mark, why haven't you watched Natsume? You're friends with Patrick.
Right.
I'm friends with multiple people.
I think
that won't shut up
the
about this.
reason Mark hasn't watched it is because he's intimidated by the fact that there's 6 seasons now.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that's true.
That's
You can take it
probably
as slow
A lot of
as that, though.
episodes.
yeah.
The show takes it very,
Yeah.
very slow. So
That's an understatement. It's so calming though. Like I feel my heart rate going down just thinking about Natsume.
yes, it is like actually a replacement for blood pressure medication.
Actually,
don't
yeah.
actually take that advice.
There's
I don't know, I would
there's
believe it.
3 anime that can take me down from a panic attack. One of them is Suritama. One of them is
Spice and Wolf.
oh, Spice Wolf's on there too. 4.
That's another one.
Tamako Market's the other
That's
one.
another one on my list.
Really, Atomic
Natsume is the other one.
What's it about?
It's just so good. Jeez, I feel bad because we did a whole episode on it already, but
We did. We can just rehash. It's fine.
subtle plug for our own podcast.
Yeah. We'll do that a
Go for
couple
it.
times before
Yeah.
we sign off. I'm not going to let you leave without
Well,
plugging stuff.
Let Mark do that. I wasn't planning on letting you guys plug it at all. This is our show. Sorry, go on. What's Natsume Yujin show about? What is
Natsume
the
Yujin Show is about a kid who can see spirits,
So
like lots of
yokai.
anime are.
Yeah.
Yes, you can see yokai.
You can see lots of yokai. But it's a real bummer for him for sure. The way it's played off in the show parallels like mental illness a lot more, but in a good, like really well structured and subtle way.
That's interesting because
Yeah,
I
not-
feel like Magus Bride did that a little bit with some of the OVAs.
Honestly, there's some similarity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I can see
like
that.
especially their backstory of abuse because of being able to see spirits or yokai
Yes.
is like
Definitely.
almost
They're
identical.
they're in
Yeah.
the same exact boat there. They get ostracized by their family and their peers immediately because of this.
Yeah,
And then they get
like,
adopted
passed
by
around
people
between people.
that they really
Yeah.
need.
Yeah, where Magus Brides focuses on her like becoming like becoming a witch and learning magic. Natsume is more of him trying to like integrate back into regular life and just trying to belong to a family and a school and grow up.
Yeah, the show basically kicks off after he has gone through this period of like being passed around and being ostracized and has finally landed in a family that wants him and like a comfortable place and has made some friends and trying to like balance all of that with still being able to see yokai and figuring out how to mesh that his whole life together.
Yeah, it has some like genuine foster family dynamics, which is really nice, and I feel like it's kind of rare in anime because parents are kind of vague sometimes.
Yeah, it's really nice to see the opposite approach, especially because his foster parents are the best people you could possibly hope for.
Yeah,
the best. Yeah, and extremely present in the show.
And they will make you cry.
Yeah,
they will often.
Yes,
you will
just
cry
like
a lot
the show itself. So the show, the structure of it is it's named Natsume Yujinsho, and Yujinsho literally means friend book. So the Book of Friends is something that his grandmother, Reiko, I think is her name, Reiko, put together, where she went around stealing yokais' names by besting them in a contest or something, and now he has the book, and he's got a lot of her exorcist powers, and he wants to return all the names to the yokai. Because he just doesn't want to deal with it, pretty much.
Because the yokai keep coming after him and trying to get their names back and trying to get revenge for what his grandma did, because she was not super friendly.
No, she was. Yeah, she wasn't great to the. She was okay to some of them, but through kind of going through the book and meeting all these yokai, he learns how better to deal with it, and he learns more about his grandmother and what it means to be able to see yokai like he does.
A couple seasons ago, there was a show called The Morose Mononokean. Did you guys watch that?
I started to watch it. It's funny you bring that up. I started to watch it and then stopped because everything it tried to do, and it wasn't bad, everything it tried to do, Natsume did a million times better.
That's kind of what I was getting at, because I remember being very bored with that show.
Yep.
Natsume is slow and takes its time, but I don't think I've ever felt bored watching it.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of depth there, whereas the Morose Mononokean one was a little bit more for giggles.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard sell for me, guys, because I don't know. I've been burned by yokai shows before, and I know this is the one that everybody. Well,
it is the best one.
It is the best one. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
I have seen one that I really liked, and it is probably I would imagine it probably is
Yokai
the
Watch.
Least like not fucking Yokai Watch.
I had to. Sorry.
I love the Crayon Pop song. That's all I need to know about Yokai Watch.
I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you on that.
No, it's fucking the only yokai show I've ever seen that I've genuinely enjoyed is fucking Ushio and Tora, and that could not be more polar opposite than Natsume Yujinsho in every way.
Right, but it's funny because all these yokai in anime, like the way they're depicted goes back to like one artist. I forget.
Yeah,
he died recently, but it's funny because you'll be able to watch it and like equate the yokai to each other. Because now when I see more yokai anime, like I understand. Oh, these are the yokai that I've seen before. I already know like their characteristics. Like I know what like a Zashiki Warashi and stuff like that is because of this.
Two very important questions. Does Natsume, number one, does Natsume ever encounter a kappa?
I don't know.
You cannot tell me that this is a yokai show and he never meets a kappa.
There's
Maybe,
no
like,
rivers. He lives in the mountain. Like he lives in a mountainous area. I don't think he's seen a kappa.
I'm out.
No.
Just kidding.
Kappa are the dicks of the yokai world.
Much more. Hey, the another reason
historically
another reason that Ushio and Tora is great is because the kappa helps Ushio out.
They're normally tricksters, not necessarily bad
they're
people.
Pieces of shit.
Jerk tricksters.
They're weird. They're also a side character in my favorite fighting game of all time, Star Gladiator. You can unlock a kappa and he fights with a Shaolin spade and has a giant turtle shell on his back.
That's a kappa.
Terrible game. Also, another important question, even more important than the last one. Tell me about the cat.
Nyako Sensei.
It's a good cat.
Sensei.
Nyako Sensei is the best cat.
Best anime cat. It's actually like a
powerful yokai.
Like
super strong.
His huge form is like a really huge wolf kind of that can fly, but he just condenses himself down to a luck cat.
Yeah, Nyako Sensei, like his full form reminds me of how like Amaterasu normally looks in depictions.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Like super badass and powerful to match. His whole thing is, I need to protect Natsume because I'm going to be the one that eats him. Of course, he's just being like tsundere.
Boy, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
it's a common trope.
Boy, that sounds eerily familiar.
Yeah, it's a common trope with yokai.
Yeah. Well, I will trade you guys. I'll watch Natsume Yujin Show if you guys watch Ushio and Tora, because
That's a good deal.
All right.
Yeah. Ushio and Tora is a shonen anime that is based on a manga series from the 80s. And when I say based on a manga series from the 80s, I mean it like 100% looks exactly like an 80s manga series, retain the character designs and everything. And it is about a boy named Ushio who is the son of a monk who goes down into his dad's basement, and his dad's a piece of shit. His dad is basically Soma's dad from Shokugeki no Soma, but like even worse. He goes down into his dad's basement and finds an ancient demon stuck to the wall with a spear, and Ushio removes the spear, and then the demon tries to kill him, and then he realizes that the spear is an ancient weapon specifically built for fighting demons, and then they begrudgingly pair up because Tora wants to be the one that eats Ushio in the end. I know that sounds familiar, but it is like legitimately a shonen horror show in the truest sense. Like he straight up battles some of the most horrifying monsters I have ever seen in a shonen anime.
What was the name of the like massive villain in it?
Hakumen no Mono.
Yeah, Hakumen no Mono. Just like the voice and the design like creep me out to this day.
Hakumen no Mono is basically a giant like fox kind of version of Nidhogg, the like world-eating worm.
Yeah.
From Norse mythology, and she is voiced by Megumi Hayashibara in probably the most terrifying performance I have ever heard her give. It is
creeps the everything shit out of me.
Just this horrific.
You can tell me on anything.
It's just like the most horrific, like whispering.
It's terrifying.
Growl, like like very sibilanty and like edited so that there's like multiple octaves in that really creepy.
Honestly, like think of Parcel Tongue from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But in Japanese and Megumi Hayashibara.
Yeah, and 50 times more
so
terrifying.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like it is legitimately one of my favorite shonen shows I've ever seen by like a huge margin, because it's also not shitty to any of its female characters in a really awesome way, and also completely subverts the norm of the shonen romance where you are constantly thinking that Ushio is going to get with the like, you know, sweet and flowery girl, and then he ends up getting with his like very like Helga from Hey Arnold-esque like shitty childhood friend.
Tomboy. Yeah.
It's a really great. And then the like sweet girl ends up like completely befriending Tora because she keeps bringing him donuts hamburgers and donuts. Yeah,
it's a good show.
Tora keeps saying that he wants to constantly eat Ushio, but then people bring him human food, and he likes human food way more than actual humans. It is legitimately one of the wildest rides I've ever seen in a shonen show. Like, there's fucking time travel to ancient China. There's like some of the most
that arc messed me up.
Yeah, it's fucked. Like, it is legitimately fucked. Like, they literally do battle with a yokai at one point that is like wrapped around an airplane, and they like fight it on the airplane's wings as he's trying to crash the plane. It's the coolest fucking shit. Awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. And there's also a really awesome box set that I think Sentai is selling right now.
And you guys will enjoy it because
no one will buy.
Just like I was telling Mark, you can sit there and watch it and be like, oh, I recognize this yokai from this other thing, and then like see how it's based on the same thing, but you still have the artistic license to kind of change it to what you need.
Yeah. It's really cool because most of the like big enemies that he fights are very singular figures in the yokai mythos. Like they have names. Like they are personalities as opposed to just like a generic yokai. Also, Yuki Kaji does the scary voice. Yeah. He is a crazy fox spirit and he's evil, and he does the scary voice, and it's so good. This was before Arslan Senki, so it was the first time that he did the like silver mask voice. It's somehow even more terrifying than that. It's really good. Anyways, I've gone off on a tangent. Everybody watch Ushio and Tora. It's really fucking good. And I'll watch Natsume Yujin Show.
All right, we will trade you.
Yes.
Last note on... Oh, go ahead.
Side note, if you watch Natsume and are disappointed by the lack of Kappa, you can just go watch Arakawa Under the Bridge. It's basically the same show.
They're both
It's
Hiroshi
Kamiya.
Kamiya.
It's Hiroshi Kamiya and there's a cop in
the
it.
same exact show.
just
Complete tonal opposites, but the same.
All right.
Yeah.
I like.
Natsume,
keep that one in
Natsume's
mind.
Hiroshi
I
Kamiya's
try-
best performance by far.
Yes.
I try not to think about Arakawa Under the Bridge. I love it, but nothing good comes of remembering that show.
I try not to think of any anime that involves being under a bridge. Just keep them all out.
Have you ever heard of this show, Mark?
I've
probably seen some
I've,
clips.
in the immortal words of Rucker Hauer from Blade Runner, I've heard things you people wouldn't believe.
Unfortunately, I would because I've seen the damn thing. Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's a show.
No, I don't even know how I got down that rabbit hole, but I'm glad I came up. Glad I came up out of it.
Jeez.
Fucking
How do we recover from that?
yeah. Might as well just end the podcast. Should we?
I'll let you guys go again, and then I'll do
yeah.
the last one.
Well, I mean, we have two.
Oh yeah, you do the thing. I'll jump in.
Am I really going to be the one to sell Love Live,
I mean,
Patrick?
the thing
This
with
is-
Love Live is I love it so much.
I guess you're selling Macross. All right. All right. Yeah. Both gonna try to get you guys on two of the Japan's biggest idol.
Actually, do you guys like musicals at all?
Yeah.
Like theater?
Yes.
Love Live is a musical. Like the way it's shot, the way it's structured, like
Yeah.
you could turn it into a stage play so quick.
Sunshine more than the first one.
I don't know, the opening of the second season of the first one
That is true. Yeah, it is a full on.
It's a musical.
It's somewhere between Takarazuka and like Broadway. It's kind of more Broadway than anything else because the dialogue is only just the stuff that's between the songs.
Yeah.
Like the character development is as much given through music as it is through actual like spoken lines. But even beyond that, I mean, like, I don't really think we need to extol Love Live's merits as an anime so much as I think we need to give an idea of like,
I'm just trying to sell it to them.
like, yeah, like the thing that I think I love most about Love Live is being part of the phenomenon. Like,
It's a thing. It sucks you in and refuses to spit you out.
Patrick has been has been a Love Liver much longer than I have, but I feel like I have been a Love Liver for my love life because
Strangle myself with the cable.
when when we went to Japan at the beginning of last year, I had not seen Love Live yet. I kind of knew that it was a huge thing, but
yeah.
I was not ready for what I saw visiting
we also
Japan.
that was the little height because we went there I think a week before the final concert. Like it was billed as final live.
This was Muse's like giant send off. Muse
was
is
the
the
goodbye.
is the unit from the first season, the thing that kind of started it all off. And I have never been in a place where the air was as electric as it was
You
in
could
the
tell.
days leading up to that concert. We went to the shrine in Akihabara, and every single one of the every single one of the Emma were, please let me win the lottery to get Love Live tickets.
Yeah,
And they all had
that's all.
Love Live. They all had Love Live characters drawn on them.
You guys remind me, and I'll show you some pictures I sent. He is not exaggerating. There were
Yeah.
hundreds.
There were massive billboards everywhere, not just in Akihabara. Like I remember sitting
It was all of Tokyo.
at the Shibuya crossing, and there was a massive Muse Final Live. Like it was a national phenomenon, and it continues to be a national phenomenon. It is a hell of a thing to be a part of, and you can kind of just sense its importance like as you watch. Like it's really weird. Like
anybody I know that has said that they don't like idol things sorry to interrupt, as like a general thing. When I finally get them to watch Love Live, it isn't long before they like get back to me and they go, "Oh, I kind of get this," and by the end they're just like, "Oh my god, why haven't I tried this?"
That was me. I am very open about how much I normally do not like idols, do not like idol culture. Like I care very little for like the real life like stuff of it, especially. But that's the beauty of Love Live is that you don't have to give a flying fuck about any of that stuff. And Love Live is still an amazing thing. It's an amazing anime. It's an amazing like just it's what's the thing that we always say? It's like Love Live is not necessarily the best idol anime, but it is the best
idol thing.
It's the best idol franchise. It's the best characters you're going to get in an idol anime. I need
you guys to watch it just so I know who your best girls are.
Yeah, I mean that's
a good question.
A huge question.
Important.
Oh yeah, speaking of girls, the universe of Love Live contains no men. There's like
except for two dads.
Yeah,
there are two dads,
there are two nameless, faceless, voiceless dads that solely exist to support their wonderful daughters, and that is the extent of the men. So much so that I don't think there are even men's bathrooms in the school.
They deleted.
See that on Twitter.
All the locales are based on real life places, and there's one, and Twitter absolutely blew up because they're just like, there's a men's bathroom here. Here's a picture of the real one, and it's just not there.
Yeah. All the crowds at all of the idol events in all the show just consist of either other idols that haven't gone on stage yet or girls from all of the idol schools, which are also all girls schools. It's crazy because you also never are never once forced to confront that terrifying reality of this monogendered world that they all live in. Also Love Live's pretty gay.
Yeah, no,
That's good.
every once in a while I'll forget for a minute and then something will happen and I'm just like, oh man, this is gay as fuck.
Yeah, you guys, once you have seen Love Live, the world of Love Live Twitter will be unlocked to you, and let me tell you, I have never seen thirstier shippers online than the Chico Rico shippers. Holy hell. My God. I'm a Chica Yo man myself,
I was going to say Chica Yo is right there too.
Chica Rico, I'm excited for you guys.
That Rico Yohani ship is sneaking up on me.
Yeah, look, there's just so many. There's so many possibilities. So many. They're all such wonderful girls. It's just a really amazing thing. It's very fun every week. It's just, it demands very little from you, but gives you so much.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay. I like sleep a lot, and Love Live, they air it on Saturdays, and every Saturday when it's up, I willingly wake up. If I'm in LA for Anime Expo, I'll wake up at 6:00 in the morning during Anime Expo to watch it live. I've missed 3 episodes total, and all those were because I was up early to go to Disney. That's the only thing that stopped me from watching it, damn it.
Yeah, it's really good. And like I said, Patrick, I know you're a lot more into like the real life
you don't
side
of
stuff. You really don't. I mean, it is very, very good on its own 2 feet as a standalone thing.
The anime from a technical standpoint is also ridiculously good.
It's ridiculously well made. The music is the best idol music you're ever going to hear in an anime.
And the lyrics are good and not dumb. Well, they're kind of dumb, but they're good.
Well, and there's variety in it too. Yeah. Not all the songs, especially in Sunshine, not all the songs sound like stereotypical idol songs. Plus, I mean, my God, Snow Halation. Like, come on.
That song.
It's the best idol song ever written by like a huge margin. It's not even a fucking competition at this point. Like, and by the time you get to it, you are literally going to be like driving your fist through a fucking wall because you just be like, yes! This is the moment I have waited for.
That's the song that got me into Love Live. I heard it somewhere, and I was just like, I need to know more about this. And this was, I don't know, this was like a year after it happened.
It's a goddamn incredible achievement of songwriting.
The original Love Live, watching it the whole time, just like, when is Snow Halation? When are they going to do it? And they did it perfectly.
Yeah, but that's the thing about, especially the original season of Love Live. Every single one of the songs is memorable and show good.
Land every time.
They land hard. Yeah. I think that's something that Sunshine has struggled with a little bit compared to the first season, only because like, how do you even fill those shoes musically?
Yeah. Well, it's a little different too, because all the songs are coming out with the show, where Love Live had a massive library before the anime.
I think the second season makes up for it in having even more variety in the music.
Awaken the Power. Holy fuck.
Awaken the Power is a really good, like, literal power ballad. My favorite Love Live song ever, My Tonight, which is a super underrated hit, is like a traditional Japanese folk song turned anime with the best costumes, I think,
Yeah.
the Sunshine Girls have ever had, and
I would
yeah,
agree
they
on that
have
one.
they have a lot. Also, the other thing to be aware of is subunits are a huge thing. That's one of the more real life outside of
Yeah,
the
because
anime
they don't
things.
show up in the show.
But trust me, it is worth getting into just for Guilty Kiss. Guilty Kiss is the like
I love those
Dark
nerds.
Angel Chuny JoJo posing like subunit that basically only makes party bangers,
They
and
come
I
out-
love
yeah.
them.
They come out in their live concert in like straight ridiculous gothic Lolita and have like 1950s era stand-up mics that aren't real, and everybody knows it because you can see the mic like through their earpiece, and they
Yeah.
just do dumb shit with them because they know they aren't real.
Yeah.
It's just like the nerdiest, dumbest, dorkiest
it's
thing.
great.
And I love all of it.
But their music is also some of the
It's
best
really
loved
good.
live music. It's
They're all bangers.
They're all bangers. Yeah, all club crushers. Johanne crushing clubs. Yeah. So yeah, Love Live is it's the hugest thing, maybe one of the hugest things that Japan has ever done culturally. Like it is, it cannot possibly. Its importance to like idol culture cannot possibly be overstated.
I
'cause
would,
it kind
I would
of,
say it'd be responsible for a second big boom after AKB48.
yeah. No, I mean
At
they
least
they are
mainstream boom.
they like Muse especially is the most I mean probably at the height of their popularity. I don't know if they're more popular than AKB48, but they were fucking close.
They did good.
Yeah, they did a good job. So, yeah, Love Live is a good thing to watch, and it's cool. I don't know what else to say other than that.
like I said, I feel like it was an hour ago when we started talking about Love Live. Like it's one of those things where everybody I've gotten to watch it, they're just like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, worth it for the ships.
Plus, you get all that extra anti-Twitter
true.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need more of that in my life.
I do actually.
yeah. No, it's good. There's so many good ships.
Some magnificent girls.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys have?
Should we pitch Steins Gate?
Oh yes, please tell me about Steins
You're gonna leave it
Gate.
up to me.
No, I know I'll help. It's just,
It's what
I don't know.
Start.
it's hard to. Is it hard to pitch? I feel like it's. Well, we should pitch it because there's a new one coming up.
That's right,
boy,
there's-
They
I
just
keep
announced
forgetting that's
the
gonna happen.
premiere and all that
Yeah.
of Steins Gate Zero. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah, I
prequel?
think so.
I'm not sure.
No,
Honestly, I
I
haven't
think
looked
so.
into it.
Okay.
I think it's like an alternate timeline with.
Oh, right.
alternate timeline because Steins Gate is about time travel.
Right.
Yep.
I knew that much.
El Saigon group bitches, let's go.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard because like, I would say that Steins Gate like turned me into an anime fan just because
Yeah.
of when I found it.
Also, we only have perspective on the dub of Steins Gate. I have seen like
Really?
a couple of clips from the sub.
Yeah.
The dub was good. I've seen them both.
Yeah.
It's not like y'all watched a broken version.
No, yeah, like we found it in the dub, so we just watched it, and like Miyano Mamoru is the main character in
Yeah.
the sub, but I haven't even gone back for it because I love the dub so much.
Oh man, he's really good. I mean, y'all know the type of the character Okabe is, so y'all
He's
know.
perfect for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
You
god.
guys are not the first I've ever heard.
Oh, God,
Far
yep.
from the first I've ever heard say
I'm gonna have to watch
Steins Gate
this.
turned him on to anime.
Oh fuck.
It's
Yeah.
like
You would love
like we
Kiryu
made
so
it through. Like I made it through like FMA Brotherhood, a
Yeah.
couple of series before that.
I had made it through FMA and I had made it through like a lot of Rurouni Kenshin and all of Monster.
Yeah.
Would you say
you've been-
it's the type of thing that turns you into somebody that says, "Yeah, I like anime," into "I'm an anime fan"?
Yeah, that was like the shift
Yeah.
for me because we were in college when I found it. Like we like threw together a cosplay group with almost every character from Steins Gate, and we're all still like a cosplay group, pretty
That's
much. And it's
awesome.
just like, it's kind of like our show that kind of leads us. So like, there's a lot of like personal nostalgia that makes us love it, but it's just a damn good show.
See that? It just makes me want a Dr. Pepper.
I know.
it-
I have one right now, actually.
That's so funny. Steins Gate, I mean, we need to get to the plot eventually. To me, it was a show that I liked and I watched as it was airing, but it was one of those where, I mean, you guys know because you know the plot, where it takes a while to really, really get going. I enjoyed it from the beginning, and then the thing happens that I don't want to spoil, and from then on, it was just like, is it next week yet? Like, I need more. And it was so fun because I was, nobody had translated the game. I wasn't about to try to play it back then. And going through and watching the show week by week is one of the better experience I'd had online. That was when I still got most of my anime shit through 4chan. And the weekly threads just talking about what was going to happen next were the highlight of my day every day.
This
Yeah, I
show's
can't
voice
imagine.
cast is Nanners.
Yeah.
Kana Hanazawa, Tomokazu Seki, and Yu
It's a who's
Kobayashi make me very excited
It
to
is
watch
a
it.
who's who. So you guys want to do a rundown of the plot real quick? I can do it if y'all don't
Sure.
want
Yeah, plot. 22-year-old.
Is he 22?
He's like 20. He's like in his 20s. They're in like
Yeah.
they're in like the
They're
first couple
college
years.
stage.
They're college kids.
They don't
Um,
really go to school. It's not important.
Yeah, but Okabe is just this dude who like has not actually let go of his chuny phase
Nope.
at all. Has this like mad scientist aesthetic going.
He has like recruited all of his friends by like acting like they have a gadget lab together, and just kind of keeps them in his apartment by their like little chuny dream, but it's mostly his, and they all just hang around because they like being friends and being part of a group.
Yeah, and they mostly don't go to school. But then they accidentally invent time travel.
Yeah, with a microwave and a banana.
to. Yep. Good old Joe Banana. I almost made a
And a cell phone.
I almost made a bad banana joke when Mark said the voice cast was Nanners. I couldn't make it work. I was trying to.
I thought it.
I did not intend for that. I promise.
Yeah, so they just like they get into the time travel, and the whole thing is so just like saturated with sci-fi references and
And like pop culture
Like,
references.
Mark, you know John Titor, right? Does that name mean anything to you? That's the guy who went on the internet and said, "I'm a time traveler. You should listen to me." Nothing?
No,
Really?
no.
Never on one of your Wikipedia deep dives?
Not yet.
Well, fucking swing and a miss. All right, go on, you two.
yeah. That becomes a huge part of the story for sure. They kind of try to integrate it with real life circa around 2012 is that when it's
Yeah.
supposed to take
Yeah.
place? It all takes place in Akihabara. Once they accidentally invent time travel, they start trying to use it for just like
Dumb stuff.
change little things about their lives that they've wanted, just like tiny wish fulfillment things,
Yeah.
and then they just find themselves way in over their heads with like, the government
Like-
and
Just all of a sudden there is like a government conspiracy to like steal this tech and to like get into their info and stuff.
yeah, shit gets real.
Very real.
And then from then on, most of this series is like traumatic time travel.
Dramatic time loops. And I think one of the things I like about the show is that it approaches time travel from like three different types of time travel as they develop their like dumb microwave tech. Because it starts out like they can send text messages back and that's it.
Because it can only send like a couple kilobytes of data. Yeah. It's really interesting like how they work around their limitations and stuff. I think that's what makes the time travel so fun, is that there are so many like really set rules that are hard for them to work around.
Yeah.
Anyway, that the time travel element is really fun. There's like I think the reason I got so hard into it is because I was really into sci-fi at the time before I was into anime, and it's just like really
It's a good marriage of the two.
yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. Yeah.
What
It is another show about friendship, but like in the most intense way possible.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
what approach do they take to the whole like diverging timelines? Is it more of a like Back to the Future thing where
They
there's
do
like
this real well.
is it like
Yeah.
a separate universe is created every time you alter the timeline, or
Yes.
like okay.
It is
Yeah.
it is a like pushing the amount of the amount of things that you change pushes you further and further like away from your original timeline kind of
I
a
see.
thing.
And then being screwed trying to find your way back.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And they
without,
have like a way to catch it too.
yeah, without spoiling too much, like one of the major things that happens is there's a big event, and they're trying to change that big event, and they just keep on doing more and more things and making more timelines, and they have a what do they actually call the number with the Nixie tubes?
The Steiner?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Okabe
something
has done this for
Steiner.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dumb
Most of them
stupid
are
name.
things.
But then they have a numerical representation of how far away they are from timeline alpha, and they need to get this far away to achieve the result that they're trying to get. And it's visually represented with these numbers, and it's almost like watching 24. You're watching the number change,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
like really stressful. It's just like fuck, get
Like-
there, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole first half of the show basically is a lot of like shenanigans, and then it kind of starts to drop off, and then you hit
It's
like
real.
basically the middle of the show, and it gets chilling after that.
Like awful.
The
Awful
climax,
drama.
the climax is one of the best I've ever seen. Like it had me like out of my chair, fist pumping, like yelling.
Yeah.
Like I gotta it got a huge reaction out of me.
Wow. I'm going to add this to my list right now.
I mean, yeah, we have a sequel, remake, whatever you want to call it, coming up, and it's one of those anime that, you know, it came out and people are still talking about it. Like it won't go away, and honestly, that generally only happens with good shit.
Yeah, it's interesting to me how many people who love it. It is one of their top shows, and it is for me.
It does have a lot of hype behind it still, even in the anime community today. You guys want to know? You guys want to know what my to watch list looks like now?
Mine's getting longer too.
Grow 3 sizes that day.
It's all right. Here we go. Code Geass, K-On!, Spice and Wolf, Macross Do You Remember Love, finish Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because I have not finished that yet. Expelled from Paradise, Full Metal Panic, Hyoka, His and Her Circumstances, Revolutionary Girl Utena, 5 centimeters a second, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and Patema Inverted. I'll probably watch all of those in the same
in one day.
afternoon.
I'm extremely biased, but I would put Steins Gate above all those.
Well, they're in no particular order. Yamato 2199, Garden of Sinners, Air Master, and Steins Gate. And now
Air Master is at the bottom.
Air Master is actually at the bottom. And Natsume Yujinso is going to be on there as well. But yeah, I
solid to watch this.
I'm going to have to prioritize like 2018 sequel series.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Steins Gate, Yamato.
Steins Gate is very bingeable halfway through. Once you get halfway through, you just can't stop. Like,
as good as the anime is, Mark, you might want to just read Spice and Wolf, because then you won't get blue balled.
But then I won't hear Amiko Shimizu.
That is very true.
I don't. That was like literally 95% of the reason why I wanted to watch Spice and Wolf.
The soundtrack for that is also really good.
Someone literally told me cute fox girl or cute wolf girl voiced by Amiko Shimizu.
She's using her like holier than thou voice too.
Nothing makes me want to watch a show more than that.
It's good.
It is
She's
good.
That's why I watch.
That's another show with a good atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why I watch Sailor Moon Crystal. It's like,
Fair.
again, like 90% of the reason. Hers Jupiter. All right.
Anyway, last points on Steins Gate I wanted to make. My last plug for the dub is like the best part about the dub is the translation. Like they translated all of the references so lovingly and carefully. Like it was basically written by J. Michael Tatum and Patrick Seitz, who also acted and helped direct it, and they just
both very good.
They just translated it so well that you like if you didn't recognize the visual style, you might not be able to guess it was anime because
the like all of the references and all of the jokes and all of the like comedy and timing is localized.
It's so good.
Yeah, a big
perfectly.
part of that
it's the best dub I've ever seen.
There's a character Daru in it that like the entire time in the Japanese version he's on 2 channel. So like half of the shit he says are like dumb Japanese internet memes. And they manage to make it work with English memes. Like and like not even like a creepy way. Like when he's creepy in a cringy way. Like when he says something, it's because it's cringy in Japanese too. Like it fit perfectly.
Yeah.
So they basically
like saying stuff like "for the win" and crap.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. So they basically took a slightly more modern Fully Cooley approach with it, because that's what Fully Cooley did with their dub, and they killed it.
He's a cringy internet nerd, and it comes across perfect in both languages. That's just an example. They do that with everybody, but it's just most prominent with Daru.
Well, that is going near the top of my list.
Does Daru ever say the word waifu in the English?
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he does, because he says "ore no yome" in Japanese more than once.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Anyway, my favorite part about Steins Gate, despite all the like awesome sci-fi story stuff, is just like the like. This one just hits the like friends are important point so hard. Like it is just about a group of friends who like by the end they all just are willing to sacrifice basically the most meaningful things in their lives for one of their friends. And like it's told in a way where like you would not think that this friend was as important in the beginning, or that they like or that any of them cared as much as they did about this person, but like it is just like a power of friendship in the most intense and terrifying way. And it's like, even without weird romance, it's still just like friendship is the most important things in these people's lives. And that's like definitely something that I've lived in my life. So I think that's why Steins Gate is so like close to home for me.
Damn.
Is it, where did you guys watch the dub? Is it on Netflix?
Oh, we have Blu-rays.
I have the Blu-rays, okay.
on Funimation for a while.
Because I don't think I finished the dub. I know I started it, and now y'all got me feeling a fucking rewatch. I need to do it before the sequel.
Got our Blu-ray signed by J. Michael Tatum because this
Jim
is like one of our
amazing.
favorite.
He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest.
Jim
when it
Michael
comes to that
Tatum,
stuff.
Patrick Seitz,
yeah.
both very good at their jobs. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's on Hulu.
This was their passion project for sure.
It's
and
on
I still love it.
Funimation and Hulu. So
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
I can definitely
Got
figure that out.
where can I watch Steins Gate for question marks on Reddit?
Now,
Yeah.
Well, Patrick.
I guess it's my time. So, Macross.
Time to talk about
So
Makubesu. Makudosu.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about talking about Macross online is how upset everybody gets about how people say it.
Really?
And
Yep.
Yeah. The thing is, everybody's just like, if you go and watch the Macross video we did, they like, there's a lot of comments about it. And I say, look, if I wanted to say it like the Japanese, I'd say Makurosu every
Yeah.
time. And I am not about to do that. So it's Macross.
I
All right?
hate when people say Macross, even though it's
Macross.
probably right.
Yeah, in the Robotech thing, it's Macross.
Someone tried to tell me the same thing about inflection on Pat Labor, because a lot of people say it Pat Labor.
That's how I always said it.
That's not how the Japanese say it. They say
Yeah.
Patoreba, which
Yeah.
is literally Pat Labor.
Yeah.
It's fucking like
It's right there in front of you.
So we're gonna say Macross.
Just
and
like,
internet
even though-
fuckboys,
yeah.
don't add us.
Let me put it this way: who says anime in English? If
Yeah.
I'm speaking about anime in Japanese, yeah, I'll say anime. Here, it's anime. All right.
Well, it's a double standard because we all say manga. Nobody says manga.
That's because manga sounds dumb.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, where were we?
How will you know if you're
Macross.
talking about your mangas or your mangoes?
Mangoes.
My mangoes.
And
We're in
moose
Florida.
and mangoes.
So Macross, God, it means so much to me. It's probably my favorite anime series. The way I like to explain it to people who don't know Macross, which is like nobody these days because they all know me, but Macross is a window into pop culture through decades because every Macross series has three things in common. There's robots, there's a love triangle, and there's music. And the music in each series of Macross is representative of some sort of fad of that time. And that can be anything from like an individual pop singer to a full idol group to a rock band. It is all over the place. And those are the only things that are in common. They're hardly ever in the same universe, although the last two were Frontier and Delta, and I guess they're sort of in SDF, Super Dimensional Fortress Macross.
Yeah,
But
Macross, SDF, and 2 and Plus are all in the same universe. The first three.
technically, but they have this
Yeah.
weird continuity where like they'll say that it was a TV show based on real events in the universe.
I'll say this: SDF, SDF, and Plus are definitely in
Yeah,
the same universe because Plus has like direct references to SDF.
Well, all of them have references to the other, but like I said, it's a weird continuity where
Yeah.
you don't need to see the others. You just get a little
Totally.
bit more basis. But like, Do You Remember Love, a movie based on the first one, is canonically a movie in the Macross universe.
Yeah, I guess that's before we even get any further. And keep in mind, I'm my knowledge of Macross is much more cursory than yours, but we did a video on this, so I at least know
did
my
some
research.
research,
But getting into Macross is a very hard and very sad endeavor for a US fan because
It's very
of
upsetting.
Harmony Gold and Robotech. And I will refer anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about here to go watch our video on Macross. It kind of
pretty alright.
details why it hasn't ever really legally, in any capacity, in the past 20 years, come to the States because of this company called Harmony Gold, which is basically sitting on the license as like copyright trolls.
Not for long.
Yeah.
What was it, 2021?
2021 is when we
Yeah.
will be getting it. But yeah, no, it's just be warned, like you're not going to be able to find most Macross series. Anything after Plus, you can't find legally in the States. It's just not going to happen.
So what I'll just speak real quick about what got me into Macross, and that was Macross Frontier, which I think is 2009. Excuse me, but
Somewhere around there.
so Macross, every time they do a new series, they do a Christmas special where they do like a super long edit of the first episode. And then like a month or two later, the whole thing will air. And I was, bored on New Year's, and I downloaded this thing that I'd never heard of before. I had maybe heard of Macross in passing or Do You Remember Love? And I was immediately hooked. It had everything I wanted in anime, like amazing music, crazy, aerial mech battles. That was the beginning of the end. Before Macross Frontier began airing in earnest, I had gone back and watched 7, Macross 2, Macross Plus, and like portions of SDF, the original Macross. And I think that's, for a lot of people our age, how they got into it was Frontier, because it was huge when it was airing. Keep in mind, it was never legally allowed here. They got one of the singers, there's 2 of them in Frontier, to play at Anime Expo. So
Yeah.
obviously the fan support and the fan love was there.
That's not the last time Macross happened.
No,
at
because
Anime
we
Expo.
just had 2 members of Valkyrie from Delta, the newest series there. And like, I don't even know how to sell Macross, because if you aren't into those corny things,
I mean, it very much comes from the same tradition as, especially SDF does. It comes from the same tradition as like Yamato and Harlock and all that stuff. It's very much
good
of
sci-fi stuff.
That 80s like sci-fi anime obsession that anime had back in the day, but its approach could not be more polar opposite.
Very different.
It's much more music focused. It's much more
It's also
visuals focused.
Goofy.
Like,
it is goofy as hell.
You were telling me about the hilarious thing about Do You Remember Love, which is really probably the like big Macross thing, like from back in the day.
It's the best one.
It's a movie that is it a recap of the series?
Yeah, so it is, the original SDF Macross is like, I want to say like 60 or 70 episodes, and Do You Remember Love actually summarizes it perfectly.
Yeah, so it came out and was like the most insanely perfect visually.
Yeah,
movie.
it was the most visually ambitious anime movie ever created for about 3 months, and then Akira came out.
Yeah. And Akira is still the
Yeah.
most visually ambitious anime movie maybe of all time.
Yeah, so it kind of, if you guys want a feast to see how hard they work, just look up, and if you don't mind spoilers, just look up Do You Remember Love Final Battle, and just sit there and watch this scene and remember people drew this on hand painted cells.
The amount of missiles and lasers is just beautiful and incredible.
It is. And the music, I'm goosebumps because the song Do You
Music
Remember
is
Love?
amazing. Yeah.
The song Do You Remember Love is everything in Macross, and every time I hear it, and it's one of the only songs that you get through all of it. There's that one, and My Boyfriend is a Pilot, which sums up every Macross show.
Such a fucking good, such a fucking good song.
I love that song. It's like the perfect 80s pop song.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I hope some of my love is making it through to you guys. Let's put it this way. My last trip to Japan and my trip in this February are to go see Macross concerts. I fly across the world to see
I'm
this
like
shit.
so ready to see Macross.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, I think you guys would really like Frontier, but if I can make a suggestion, just load up Do You Remember Love and like get an idea. Yeah, get an idea for what Macross entails, and then probably watch Frontier and branch out from there.
Yeah.
I'm totally sold. Like,
Yeah.
I've been meaning to start it for a while.
I'm
And
glad. I need more Macross friends.
I am going to use this
Yeah.
moment to stand the only Macross series that I've ever seen, which is Macross Plus, which is might as well
least
not
Macross.
be
Macross.
Macross in name only. So
Still has fantastic music though.
Macross Plus is legitimately one of the wildest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. I was like mouth hanging open at how much I enjoyed it and was also blown away by it. It came out in 1994. It is like I want to say 3 or 4
I think it's 4.
episode. Yeah, it's a 4 episode OVA series directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, which is fucking nuts to me that I
All
always
the other ones are by the same guy, Shoji Kawamori,
Yeah.
who's the guy that created Macross.
Shoji, yeah, this is the first
and
Macross
also
series.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, this is the first Macross series that Shoji Kawamori did not like head. He did some tertiary directing and also all the mecha designs and plane designs and everything. I mean, that's what he always does, and he's so fucking good at it. Shoji Kawamori also, fun fact, did a lot of the designs for Pat Labor back in the day.
He was a busy man.
Yeah, he's really good at
Transformers, too,
He's
was
really
him.
fucking good at drawing robots. Turns out. So yeah, Macross Plus is the craziest, maybe one of the craziest anime series I've ever seen. It's set, I want to say 30 years after the original SDF, on like a weird combination world of like a desert backwater and a cosmopolitan city that might as well just be ripped straight out of The Fifth Element. And
Yeah, actually.
it follows
I don't remember their names.
2 teams of aerospace engineers as they compete to design the new Valkyrie, which is the plane, the main plane transforming plane mech thing in Macross. As they fight, they basically like battle it out. And the two main characters are test pilots. One of them is a human, and the other one is a half human, half Zentradi named like Gull something.
God,
I don't know.
I
The names are
this
great
like
in the show. Anyway, the names are not important. And it's basically the whole show revolves around a love triangle between the two of them, and they're childhood friends, both of them, and they're also childhood friends with this woman who is the mastermind behind the world's first AI idol named Sharon Apple.
Hatsune yeah.
Sharon Apple, the Vocaloid before Vocaloids were a thing.
She really is.
They predicted it, Vocaloids, like 15 years before Vocaloids were a thing. And she is a 2001 A Space Odyssey existentially terrifying floating obelisk with like a dress attached. Her first scene is like literally like I continually reference Fifth Element because like Shinichiro Watanabe, even though this was 3 years before the Fifth Element came out, was channeling Luc Besson so fucking hard in this series it hurts. Because her introductory scene might as well be the exact same scene as when the Diva Plava Laguna walks onto screen for the first time in Fifth Element. Like, it is terrifying. And also the music is all done by Yoko Kanno.
I was waiting for it.
This might be literally, I'm not even joking, maybe my second favorite Yoko Kanno soundtrack behind Cowboy Bebop. It's
really stupidly good.
The most perfectly encapsulated 90s pop soundtrack. She channels Paula Abdul. She channels Ace of Base. It's all like very period accurate 90s pop music. And then as soon as I was telling Patrick about this the other day, I was like, man, this really doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard Yoko Kanno do before. And then immediately it switched back to the desert, and you see what's his name like looking up into the sky, and then just like the most fucking slide blues guitar Cowboy Bebop ass sounding like desert soundtrack, just like don't wow, and I was just like, God fucking damn it, there it is. There it is.
I think Voices is probably my favorite Macross song, which is like, considering how big of an Idol fan I am, that's surprising.
Do yourselves a favor and just look up the song Idol Talk, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Idol Talk is the
What's
shit.
The other one, like Information something?
It's all, there's a lot of Enya in that soundtrack too. There's a shitload of Enya. Oh, it's so goddamn good. I cannot overstate how much I love this show. But also really like visually incredible, like way ahead of its time for 1994. A ton of use of like some really cinematic level, very expensive at the time, I'm sure, CGI that looks incredibly good. Really awesome little references back to SDF. Like there's a scene where where the main woman is like singing karaoke with her friends, and it transitions in just as she is finishing singing My Boyfriend is a Pilot, which is fantastic. It's I can't recommend it enough. I don't know if I would say do like me and watch it first, because it is the least it's definitely a great place to start if you're like me and don't really like anything that you've experienced with Macross and need something to like ease you in. But now that I'm in and I have read up on that universe and am really hooked on it, I cannot wait to experience more of it because it is really awesome.
I want to explain the basic plot of Do You Remember Love and SDF real quick, because I just think it's interesting for anybody who hasn't been sold by any of this. So SDF Macross takes place with our bit of humanity on a like massive ship that can transform and shoot things, because fuck yeah, shooting things. But they're on a space colony, and because we're locked in a war with this spacefaring race called the Zentradi. The Zentradi are like vaguely human, and they kind of half worship something called the protoculture. We don't know what that is, not too important. But they're giants, and all they do is war. Like, that's all they're made for. They don't reproduce or anything. Or they do, but like mechanically through like tubes and shit. And all they do is war. And because music is such a big part of it, of course humanity fights, but culture becomes a big way to fight. Like, if you guys play Civ, like, you're going for the cultural win here. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a big deal in the end, culture, to the point where it's kind of a running joke that a curse in the Macross world is Yak de culture.
Yeah.
because deculture happens.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the basis there, and you always have some sort of theme of like love and music overpowering bad, which I'm a corny person. I fucking live for that shit.
I'm so here for that.
Yeah.
It's such a central.
I'm 100% sold already.
It's such a
excited.
central theme of Shoji Kawamori's work that he has taken to such ridiculous extremes in
does
his
it
later
everywhere.
works, because then you have something like AKB 0048, which is literally fist fighting while also singing and like riding around on a hoverboard.
They've got a hover disc and they've got microphone lightsabers, and they literally like
I need this in my life.
There's this thing that idols and like artists do in Japan they call them guerrilla lives, because they don't tell anybody ahead of time and they just show up. They make guerrilla lives into like guerrilla war. Like they show up on planets because there's a culture ban, and they're just like, "Yo, culture, eat it."
Yeah, and sing AKB
Yeah, and they sing
48
AKB 48 songs.
Yeah.
AKB 0048 is a fucking trip, and
is
it's on Crunchyroll.
Why I'm saying that Shoji Kawamori needs to do that, but with perfume, because that's we
don't
need.
fuck with
Everybody
me.
needs
Gosh.
it.
He's got a new thing coming out like real soon, doesn't
Yeah.
he? I'm brain farting on it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So Macross is good.
Yeah, I will put my
What
foot
order
down and
should
say
we hit
Macross
these up
is
again
good.
in?
What's up?
What order should we hit these up again in? Start with Do You Remember Love?
I would
Yeah.
start with Do You Remember Love, and then do Frontier and go from there. After Frontier,
Okay.
I only say Frontier because it was my entry point, and it's a lot of people's entry points, and it is single-handedly responsible for kind of reviving the series. There was a very, very long dead space there. From there, you can either watch Delta, the newest one, which should be interesting.
Watch
because,
Plus.
Yeah.
Well, you should watch Plus, because it is literally, it will take you less than a
it's 4
day,
episodes.
and it'll be worth it. Trust me.
But what I was going to say is you can either hop to Delta, or you can go watch like Plus and 2, and all those. 2 is pretty weak. You can honestly skip 2.
You can skip too. Yeah.
But you can do that, or you can watch Macross 7, which is the Rock one. And personally, I don't love it, but it's also the silliest.
a lot of
and-
people don't like 7.
I mean, Firebomber is amazing though.
That's true. Yeah.
The music, I mean, it's like you guys have probably heard some Macross music. Just take the songwriting there and make it into rock, and you have some amazing music. And
Yeah.
you guys know the gif of the dude eating the leaf? That's Macross
Yes.
7 in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Thank God. Finally, I know.
Oh, you didn't know what that's from? That's Macross 7.
No.
I also
That's
did
bizarre.
not know that until right now.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
fun facts.
I think my eyes were rolled into the back of my head for half of that show. I enjoyed it. It's just really dumb, even by Macross standards.
Oh my
That's a
God.
big thing not to forget too. Like Macross is really silly. A lot of people will get upset.
It is.
when they like watch Delta or something and be like, "It's not supposed to be so silly." And she's like, "Man, have you ever watched Macross?"
Yeah. Well, it's just a natural extrapolation of the original concept. You gotta just keep getting more insane and more insane.
Yeah.
And in Plus's
Why?
case, you have to get more so cerebral that it barely like looks like Macross at all.
Yeah. Right. Macross is good.
This sounds
Oh.
like exactly what I need in 2018.
Yeah.
Also, Macross Macross Plus has at least one like daddy ass daddy. Goal is
There's-
the daddiest.
Oh,
There's
out.
one in most of them, and the best one. Imagine like a super daddy ass character. Or you were saying
He's
imagine
like
somebody. Hang on, just Roy Fokker. That's a character name.
yeah. No, I have to look up his name. Hold on, because
Roy
his name is
Fokker
really
great.
good.
There's a lot of like dumb in jokes with the Fokker family and stuff, and half the time they're in like mercenary outfits instead.
But this dude is half human, half Centrati, which means he got the attractive traits of both and is like 7 feet tall and is constantly wearing like 90s business casual outfits. Like he's fucking walked out of a Hugo Boss catalog. Like the motherfucker is a lady killer, as you see in the series. What the fuck is his name? Gold Goa Bowman. That's
That's
such a good name. And he's voiced by Unsho Ishizuka, a young Unsho Ishizuka, which I am always excited to hear. Oh yeah, also the voice cast in this is pretty good. Megumi Hayashibara is one of she has one of her first like actual speaking roles in this, and she kills it. She's very good. So
Here you
yeah.
go. When y'all get to Frontier, though, I've noticed something when suggesting literally all my friends watch it. And this one, the love triangle is interesting because you have the galactic songstress. You know, she's this crazy ass pop idol. pretty much like Beyonce, more or less. Like everybody wants to be her. Like, and she's set in her ways. You know, she's everything. She's strong. She's independent. She's amazing. And then you have the other side of the love triangle, which is Ronka. She's the fresh newbie that's like up and coming. And without fail, every guy is rooting for Ronka, and every woman is rooting for Cheryl. I haven't never met anybody that flips that on me.
Yeah. Cheryl is basically the Nico Yazawa of Macross.
I want to kill you.
Yeah. No, but
For
it's true.
suggesting that.
It's fucking true. It's
I
true.
cannot think of more diametrically opposed
it here
characters.
I know, but I also can't think of another character that has a bigger dichotomy between women loving her and men absolutely hating her.
Yeah, I guess.
It's true. Nico Yazawa, her natural environment is in a dumpster.
Cheryl is better than
Anyways.
that.
I can't wait to
Cheryl,
get
yeah.
y'all's Nico takes when you
Oh,
eventually watch Love Live, because it will be hot no matter what you guys
There
think.
are no cold
There
takes
are-
on
yeah.
Nico.
Exactly. Well, we're almost at 2 hours. Do you guys have anything else like
Yeah.
absolutely essential that you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Did you want to try and slide in Natsuyuki Rendezvous? Or
I don't want to make everything sad now.
Oh,
yeah, that's
no.
a bit of a downer.
We're not going
It's
to
a complete-
end with this, so not that I'm telling you not to do it, but I'm going to ask you guys some questions before we leave. So feel
yeah,
free.
That's okay.
Yeah, no.
We can probably pass on that one.
Good. Okay. I wanted to ask you guys before we left, what shows are you guys watching this season or have continued to watch?
Besides Legend of the Galactic Hero.
No, I mean like
There's no room for anything else, let's be honest.
Seasonal anime. This
Basically,
is
if we're not at work or like doing something, we're watching Legend of the Galactic Hero.
For this season, though, we are watching Ancient Mage's Bride.
okay.
Yeah. Gem Show, we're still doing. We're
We're
just a
super
little
behind on
behind,
Gem Show.
but we're with it.
That's Land of the Lustrous for those of you that can't
Yes.
pick that up.
For people who like
It took
Yeah,
me
that
a
one.
second. I was like, what
For
is
things.
that? Gym show? Yeah.
Yeah, Land of the Lustrous
Yeah.
is probably
That's-
close to show of the season, I'd say.
I'd say it is.
It's a pretty easy
I
category.
have no words for that show yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to need like a week to de-stress because every time I see a new episode, my opinion of it grows.
I didn't know how to articulate this take, and I haven't seen one of these shows, but I feel like the most magnificent, like, flight of that aesthetic and that, like, kind of ethos of that type of anime. Utena, Flip Flappers, Land of the Lustrous. Watch those 3 in a row, and you probably
I can
will
see that.
either lose your
That's a
humanity
brain
or
blunder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
You know what that is? That right there is a big mood.
it's just it is a big mood. It's a big 2017 mood because it's like a lot of
Yeah. Honestly.
a lot of weird like non-gender normative stuff,
There's
a lot of
androgyny in
a
here.
lot of androgyny, a lot of gay stuff, and a lot of only women. Which is good.
I really can't talk about Landlust yet. Like I just like that last episode.
Will we ever
fucked
be
me
able
up.
to? Like, it's such an insane thing. At all.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
like,
maybe someday. I hope so because I want to talk
Yeah.
about it. I just
we'll dedicate an
It's
entire
hard.
podcast to it. Anything else you guys are watching from the season?
What's we watching?
We watched MMO Junkie. That was
Oh,
too
yeah.
cute to
oh
resist.
god,
We
it's so good.
I was just telling Patrick that I'm gonna probably binge that show before the end of the year because I feel really
It's
shitty
adorable.
missing out on it.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
We Girls Last Tour. We're keeping
Girls
up
Last
with.
Tour.
That's a cute one.
I'm a
Yeah.
couple behind on that
Very
one,
good.
but I very much like it.
Yeah, we're kind of catching up slowly on that one.
Yes. Not a bad.
Idolmaster Side M, obviously.
Fuck yeah!
I'm a couple episodes behind on that one
Damn.
too, but it's great.
Yeah, it's
I'm
really
behind on
cute.
everything.
I can't wait till like 6 months from now when all the figures from that show are re-announced, and then I buy all of them and lose thousands of dollars.
I was at this convention last weekend, and there's one guy that comes to all the Florida ones, and he has a bunch of idol stuff, and he had a whole box of Side M like keychains and stuff, and he didn't have a single one from SEM. I was so upset. Like I like a lot of the other boys.
Sam
like,
are my boys.
I almost bought one of the Soccer Boys ones because I really love them too, but
let's
didn't have any
let's
SEM.
be real. We love everyone.
We do.
They're all
We do.
wonderful
They're
boys.
good. They are all good
They're
boys.
all good boys.
They're all such good boys. I don't understand. Just fucking leave it to Idolmaster. Just smash male idol anime out of the park finally.
That's all I wanted from him, and I did it.
We knew we would do it. We were saying it this whole time. Everybody Go back in the Ono Anime archives. You can find us.
I think we've probably been saying it since before Side M was announced.
Before the anime was announced? 100%. Because you kept telling me, like, oh, yeah, fuck Udapri, fuck all this shit. Side M is going to be the thing.
When Side M happens, it's going to be the thing that makes male idols work.
I feel like in the next couple of years, I might be vindicated with, or we might be vindicated with when Tokyo Seventh Sisters anime finally happens.
Man,
Tokyo Seventh Sisters, have you guys ever heard of Tokyo Seventh Sisters?
No, I don't think so.
It is the.
Let me give the plot real quick. So the year
it's the fucking greatest plot of all time.
I think the year is 2013. I think that's about when the game came out.
Yeah, the future.
An idol concert happens where it's just so good, it's so amazing that everybody just stops doing idols. They're just like, fuck.
They did a thing.
They win idols.
They did a thing so good. They performed a song so good that idols stopped being a thing.
Yeah, it was just over. So you play a manager that's like trying to do idols again, and it's funny because the group that did the song, I want to say it's just Seventh
They were
Sisters.
called Seventh Sisters.
Seventh Sisters. Like clearly the center is like the person helping you do this. Like her name is like Coney instead of like Yonek or something. It's something really dumb like that. And it's clear she's the real manager. But you like go through and try to revive idols. But let me tell you, they released the song like as a single that supposedly ended idols, and I heard it. And I'm just like,
it is.
Yeah,
it is the song that ended idols. It's like point being is it's a game obviously, but
it's a fun game. Sorry.
It is its entire musical and design aesthetic is all informed by like weird futurist club culture. Like all the fashion is very like club kid, like a lot of half shirts and a lot of like sparkly pants and like stuff like that, and the music is all just like straight up
all over the
dance
place
music.
And all really good.
Yeah, it is the one big idol franchise that is popular enough to get an anime, and we don't really know why
it's gonna happen. I've been saying since the first day I played the game, like I saw the art and I'm like, oh, this is gonna fucking fire off and get an anime.
We're as anime is lit as our witness, we are saying keep your fucking peepers peeled for Tokyo Seventh Sisters, because that's gonna be the anime that ends idol anime. Like we're gonna have to stop worrying about what the future of Love Live is gonna be after Sunshine is over, because there will not be idol anime after the Seventh Sisters anime.
I'm ready. Free me.
Other than all those shows, you guys watching anything else seasonal wise?
I cannot tell you how much Sengoku Nightblood has like swept across our friend group.
All right, you have to tell me about this.
I haven't touched it.
We were just like, I was like, okay, like shitty Sengoku Otome anime. I have to watch it.
I feel like there's one of these every fucking season now.
Yeah, there is. But this one is definitely the best. Because not only is it set in the Sengoku, it is set in the alternate Sengoku, and some of the warlords are vampires, and some of them are werewolves.
Oh my god.
The
underworld
like
AU.
No, really.
DeviantArt wolf boy.
No.
Werewolves.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
So is it legitimately good, or is it like cringy good?
It's super cringy,
awful.
and like I've lost track of the plot because it doesn't follow history, so I don't know what to expect anymore.
There's approximately 500 characters.
Yes.
Does it surpass the cringy levels of Ikemen Sengoku of Oda Nobunaga doing a rap battle?
See, that's like genuinely endearing.
They are like on the same level, but different flavors. Because in this, Oda Nobunaga is the king of the vampires.
Of course.
Whatever flavor this is, you don't want it in your mouth, but you can't spit it out.
Oh, I love that.
Also,
holy shit.
Masamune is a werewolf with floppy ears.
Oh no.
He's like a sad, basically CL Phantom Hive, like floppy-eared werewolf.
You know
boy.
what? I'm gonna leave this one to you two. I don't think I want to fuck with this.
Yeah, we'll have you back on another 50 episodes to report on it again.
I'm gonna make a solo episode of Anime Lit that's just about shitty Sengoku shows.
We've had to construct some
should.
wild headcanons to like prop up this universe to make sure it holds.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched The Ambition of Oda Nobunaga? It's the one where it's a gender swapped Oda. Honestly, I love it, but it was when I was still like super trash all the time and I loved everything. And I want it to be good, and I feel like it probably still is good, but it might not be. So when you get there, let me know.
There has not yet been an anime adaptation of Oda Nobunaga that I have not been embarrassingly into.
Well,
So-
this one, it's great because it's just Oda. Oda and like some of his, I almost said familiars. Some of his retainers are there, and they're gender swapped too. But it's mostly the same, if I recall correctly. But Kanai Ito, she doesn't do a lot of things anymore, but she's one of my favorite voice actresses, and she did Oda, and Oda's just like a complete fucking badass. But it's like a short blonde girl. I don't know. It's anime.
Yeah, I definitely read up on it and did not start it immediately, but
I remember really enjoying it.
Well,
I can't think of anime adaptations of Oda Nobunaga without thinking of Drifters, which allowed us to see the scene where Oda Nobunaga learns about gunpowder from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which is voiced by Wataru Takagi and Daisuke Ono.
oh shit.
Literally, yeah, that's another solid rec. Fucking a historical battle royale with a bunch of Western and Japanese historical like heroes, a la Fate, only done by the people that did fucking.
Should we watch Fate or that first?
Hellsing, yeah,
It was Hellsing.
Only done by the people, the same studio and the same team and the same manga writer that did Hellsing. So it is fucking like Apocalypse Now off the rail levels. It is the most nuts fucking show. We did a video on it, and it's a cool way to learn history.
It's a cool way to learn a history.
Yeah, cool way to learn about obscure Japanese fighter races, if that's your thing, which it is my thing. Anyways, I think that is going to do it for us. Thank you so much for coming on the show, guys. We really appreciate it.
I think y'all should do a plug real quick.
Oh, yeah. Please. Where can we find both of you on the internet?
We run the Anime is Lit podcast on iTunes and basically anywhere you get podcasts. On Twitter, we are Anime is Lit Pod. Same with Gmail. Anything else?
yeah, that's where we are.
That's us.
All right.
Do
You guys
y'all
should
pimp out your personal
Check out our
Twitters
show.
or anything, or
What is my actual handle?
One of you is Infinite Bagel and the other one is Nova Pineapple.
Come on,
and
get with it.
bagels.
Yes.
There's some underscores in there somewhere. You
You
can
want to
figure
see
it
all of
out.
our embarrassing personal stories and
If you want to
opinions.
see lengthy threads where the three of us go back and forth about fucking Jar Jar Binks and other terrible prequel memes.
Imagine
Then
this.
that's
I
the thing
wasn't
that
there
happened,
for
Then
that.
that is what is waiting for you.
That was the best
Yeah,
present.
I know it's hard to believe. Patrick was not involved in that thread until much later.
I don't remember what I was doing, but I know it was
mom's
better than that.
Yeah, real talk though, y'all, listeners, their podcast is much better than ours, so you should go listen to it
Incredibly
instead of
good.
doing this.
Just so y'all know, lit is short for literary.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Make
What are you
that very
talking
clear.
it's a double
Actually,
entendre, however you say that.
when we were coming up with the name, I thought the lit thing was really cheesy, and I
love
was
it.
sold on it because we could eventually abandon the slang meaning if we needed to.
She was
Yeah.
like, don't you think lit's going out of style? And I was like, doesn't that make it better?
Like, yeah, you're kind
That
of
makes
right.
it much better.
Well, you guys have like an actual motto too that fits with the title, which is something that we have never
we
had
do.
and will never
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, you can't fuck with them.
I feel like we try to workshop it every episode and just settle back with what we
Settle back with exactly
Yeah.
the
If it ain't
first
broke.
thing. We talk about anime like it's literature, except fun and not boring.
That's our hope.
That's a great motto, and ours would be something like the show that makes you say, "Oh no, why am I listening to this?" They're talking about nothing. They're talking about how VWs come with Mein Kampf in the glove box again.
Listen, I thought we agreed not to talk about that. Not my proudest moment.
They're talking about getting the Heavens Feel route in Dramatical Murder again. Anyways, real quick,
As for
everybody that is, I want to just thank everybody. This is our 50th episode, which is kind of crazy to think
Yeah,
about.
it's nuts.
I want to thank you two. You two were like literally the first people to ever email us.
Yeah.
And that was a super
was
like
huge.
big linchpin moment for us and
I
very
remember-
inspirational.
I remember messaging Mark and being like, "Mark, check the email. We got a fan letter. What
Yeah,
the fuck?"
yeah. It turned out to be like a super cool online and sometimes in real life when we're on the same coast friendship.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty awesome.
It's been really great so far. And I want to thank all of our friends from Tampa and beyond that have basically, helped us out and listened since moment one. I really want to thank Catherine Padua, who has been our closest ally in this from like day one, has done all of our logo art, all of basically any of the shit that actually looks good that I didn't do. She has done, and so I'd like to plug her artwork and just she is Pain Shiba on Twitter, also known as Emperor Big Mom, and she is just a really wonderful friend of ours, and I really want to thank her for all of her hard work over the years. I also,
you guys come to SoccerCon.
yeah,
I would like to. That's what
I really want to. Yeah, it's March and April. I also want to thank everybody who we have met along the way, because it has been a hell of a ride so far.
Yeah, I've met so many cool people through this.
Yeah,
my life is generally better.
Yeah, we've met a lot of people doing this, and I just want to thank everybody for supporting us. And here's to definitely more than 50 more of these, and more YouTube videos, and more hopefully famous people doing DJ mixes for us, and the whole shebang. So all right, I think that is going to do it for us. Thank you so much, guys, for being on. Hopefully we can do this again very soon, I hope.
Definitely.
Yeah, this was good.
And
thanks for having us.
Go listen to their podcast, and thank you for listening to ours. I think that's going to do it. Onoanime.moe is the site where you can find all of our stuff. YouTube.com/onoanime. We just hit 800 subscribers the other day. What the fuck is happening? I don't know. We're gonna be at that big 1,000 before we know it.
That's weird.
As soon as we actually start producing more video content, which we'll get to. We still have a lot of stuff to look forward to towards the end of the year. A lot of podcasts. We got a Sakuga video that is going to come out hopefully before the end of the year. We've got whole bunch of stuff, so keep your eyes peeled. Onoanime.moe is the site and place to look at it, and until next time, we'll see you later.
Toodaloo.